Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game Masters, a show where we like to show off expertise in games, and we have an expert in Kingdom Hearts 2 today. I'm joined by Sonic Shadow Silver 2, doing Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer. Before we get started with that, I have a couple of quick announcements. Today is actually the last day to submit your volunteer application for SGDQ 2021 Online. So you can go to gamesdonequick.com to find out how to submit your volunteer application if you're interested in helping out with the event from home. If you're watching on YouTube and would like to support our live events, please consider checking out our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/GDQ. If you have an Amazon Prime account, remember you can subscribe to any Twitch channel of your choice every month for free. Please consider using your Prime Gaming account to subscribe to the GDQ Twitch channel. But with that, I actually want to get into this because I enjoy Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer, and Sonic is not only someone that's helped develop the randomizer, but is also incredibly well-versed in Kingdom Hearts 2 as a whole. So, hello, Sonic.
Hello.
And yeah, you're joined by two commentators as well. Feel free to introduce yourself and them, and we can get underway.
Sorry. My name is Summit. I'm the creator of this randomizer and this Dharma Assemblies mod, which with what the Dharma Assemblies mod does is basically you can go through any world whenever you want. And that basically opens up your entire game to where it's like basically you can go and this was a randomizer, you can go, let's say, get Devi from item at first and then go straight into the world map number 1, fight Roxas, or go back to Fire Cloud, go get Balance Warfare real quick. Yeah, I have two commentators joining me today, which they are Biz, or Biscuit047, and Dayham296.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, me too.
No
Excited
problem.
to watch this.
Yeah, it's always a good time commentating Rando.
It is.
Yep.
It's like really fun. Also, like
It is,
Sonic's contributions to Rando have been downplayed a little bit. Sonic has been making randomizers in some variety for Kingdom Hearts 2 for literally years. Like many
Yep.
years. Biz has been playing them for as long as Sonic has been making them, it feels like. And did
Yeah.
so
Yep,
much
yep.
work to make this something that now lots, like hundreds of people, I think, at this point enjoy.
And that it's a true Rando now as opposed to like a predetermined Rando from back in the day that Sonic used to make for me.
Yep. And then shortly after that, a program that Biz made actually, when that eventually developed by Balatzer, turned into the randomizer website that we generate the seeds on and whatnot. So
Yeah.
shout out to Balatzer for that.
Yeah, once you made the garden mod, that just changed Rando completely for 2FM to where now
Yeah.
everybody just loves it.
Yeah, and a small
Yeah, so that way.
small correction to Hobbs too. The Rando Discord server has over 2,000 people in it, so
Oh my
thousands
God.
of people have played Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer. It is amazing to
Yeah.
see.
Yep.
Wow, I did not realize it was that big at this point.
Same.
Well, I'm excited. What do we do next, Richard? What are we doing?
Sonic, feel free to give us a countdown whenever you're ready and get underway here.
All right. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Yep, good luck.
Yeah, good luck, Sonic.
Right, you.
All right, so this is Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer. We're actually going to be seeing two different runs, if I'm not mistaken, or at least two different versions of this, where this first version is on PS2. So this is the PS2 version of Final Mix for Kingdom Hearts 2. Basically, all you need to know is that it's more or less, in a lot of ways, the same version that you might have played on PS4 or like PS5 or something, or even PS3. But it does have some minor differences we're not going to stress about too much.
Now, as you can see, we're automatically in what's called normally the data org room, but instead of these portals leading to data org fights as normal, which are the super bosses, instead it's going to lead us to different worlds. So So that makes it basically an open world randomizer where you can just choose where to go. And right now Sonic's going through the menu and seeing what he has, because you
Yeah.
can start with random different abilities, equipment, and items right away.
Yeah, so critical mode in the game normally gives you a bunch of abilities that you start the game off with and a lot of AP to equip those. And so the randomizer will randomize those. Critical mode is the hardest difficulty. That's what Sonic's playing on. And he just started with some really good things already to talk about. His Keyblades were pretty decent, and especially he got an experience boost on one of them, which is really nice because it means he could level himself up really quickly if it comes to it. And he also got Quick Run, as you're seeing him use right now, which is really nice to have at the beginning. Like, you always want a Quick Run, and being able to start moving around the world a lot faster at the beginning is a big important thing.
I'm actually a bit surprised he went to 100 Acre Woods first room without another torn page that fast. Usually a lot of players just go right where he is right now to Pride Lands. And the reason we go here, finishing plus, nice.
Yeah.
And the reason we go here is because movement doesn't matter. Growth abilities don't matter here. Lion Sora is like fixed movement, and there's a lot of checks to get here. So we just rapid fire go here and get a bunch of checks at the beginning of the run. You just have to get past this kind of challenging early fight.
Yeah, so this fight, normally you would not be in this world. Oh my god, this is baby seed. Normally in this world, you wouldn't be here until you've done a lot of the rest of the game, and all of the enemies are still scaled as such. So you can see that Sonic actually boosted all the way up to level 5 during that. There is a slight boost to the levels applied for this specific rando, these settings, but that's pretty much what most people play with. The important things that Sonic has gotten so far that we are all like talked about are the really neat things are Guard Break and Trinity Limit are two very useful abilities on levels. We could talk about those a little bit later when they show up. And also you got a Shock Charm Plus in 100 Acre Wood. And you're right, like normally it seems a little odd to go to 100 Acre Wood first, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sonic did that because he had a quick run. So just might as well check 3 quick chests, see if he gets something really good. Luckily, like if he got a magnet or something, it would have helped him out in that first fight.
There's a lot of different philosophies on where to kind of deviate here and there. A lot of people do follow what we call a shotgun approach, where you kind of dip into each world to get the quick chest and then bounce before the first challenging fight that slows you down, or just slow segments. But Pride Lands is always like a go-to first right away, except for like maybe something like you could go into like Port Royal first 3 chests, like Land of Dragons first 3, and then 100 Acres first 3 right away and get basically a similar outcome. You can get some pretty nice stuff from that too.
Yeah, and Pride Lands, as Biz mentioned before, you got to get through that first fight. A glide is really nice to see there. You got to get through that first fight at the beginning, and then you can get almost every single check in the rest of the world without having to do any more fighting. So that's why, and like he was saying also, your Lion Sora, so your regular movement does not matter. Thus, it is really nice to come here early on, as long as you can get through that fight. You get like 22 or 26 checks or something. It's a bunch of them. And to quickly, just anybody who's not super familiar with randomizers in general, all of the, like, pretty much every item in the game is just shuffled around, including ones that you would normally get on level ups or from leveling up your drive forms, stuff like that. They're just shuffled around to different locations. They can be in chests, they can be on your level ups, they can be on drive levels, they can be on rewards from like bonus rewards from beating bosses and stuff. So they're all shuffled around, and whenever we talk about checks, we're basically talking about any spot where that could have a random item in it. Now he's going to do a menu here to grab some of the items from Simba. Grabbing items from party members is a really common thing in order to get, most importantly, ethers, but also some early potions as well can be handy.
After these last 2 chests, he's going to actually leave the world, because progressing any farther here brings you to basically 2 boss fights in a row that aren't worth doing at the moment. So he's going to, I think, go back to 100 Acre Woods or Disney Castle first, I guess. Now he has Glide.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and Quick Run. So it's okay to go here right after. If you have decent movement, you won't really lose time.
Yeah, this is another pretty early one. For anybody who wants to get into this randomizer, if you try to do Pride Lands and you have a hard time with it, I highly recommend just mixing it up and going here first. This is a really good first location when you're kind of starting out and stuff, and then it becomes a pretty good second location once you get really good at it. Sonic is really good at the game, and so is here now. With the glide's going to help him just move around horizontally. Glide level 1 is nice, but it's probably actually not faster than his quick run when he's on like flat ground until he gets like an aerial dodge or glide level 2 or both.
As soon as you get aerial dodge and glide, it gets worth it to just always glide. Unless you're going up a slope, then quick run would be faster than level 1 glide, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to still see him using a lot of quick run, but the glide is incredibly helpful whenever you need to move between chests that are on different, like varying heights of terrain. So Sonic has an option now. He can basically either, after he talks to Minnie here, he'll get one more check, and he can either decide to push through escorts, which are a little mini game with Minnie Mouse, or he can decide to leave the world right now and maybe try to hope he never has to do that or save it for later, because it can be a little bit slow, but it also gets you some early checks. It's a trade-off, and it looks like Sonic's going to go ahead and do the escort mission.
Yeah, I play it the same, but not all rando runners do this. I would say on level 1, it's always smarter to do this, but because it's a lot of free checks without any, like, a lot of skill involved. But for Sonic, I think he's just kind of overall playing it safe. You really never know what's in Timeless River, and it's relatively fast and easy to get there.
Yeah, and the nice thing about this too is it does get you some early experience. It's not going to be like a ton of experience, but he'll probably get another level or 2 in the second escort here. This first one doesn't really get you much, but the second one will have a lot more of those bolt towers, the big enemy that you saw there at the end of the first escort, and the bolt towers can give you some decent experience. Now, after getting to the end of this escort, Sonic's going to be in Timeless River, because normally the game, you know, has you come here, then go back to Hollow Bastion, then come back here, and then you go into Timeless River and stuff. So it's basically all baked into this one world, and Sonic can progress this world as far as he so chooses, or as far as he's able to right now. What he'll almost certainly do is go into Timeless River, and there are, 5 chests, I believe? No, sorry, 7 chests that you can get with having to do just one incredibly simple fight. So it's a pretty common tactic to do those early on, and maybe he'll get lucky and get, right now, what do you say we'd be looking for most, Biz? Like an aerial dodge?
For movement, yes, it's really good to have good movement early on to speed up everything, because if you don't have like any growth abilities, it's such a crawl to get through the worlds. Like this, like Timeless is pretty slow if you don't have like quick run or aerial dodge. Yeah. Or even glide level 1 only would still be better than nothing. But I think you made the right call coming here. I usually do the same thing as well. And this first fight will be pretty easy with all the tools he already has gotten.
Yeah, and like the other, so there's basically 2 big things. Well, I guess there's 3 big things that you want to be looking for. So first off, we didn't talk about what the objective of this randomizer is. And
oh, that's important.
Yeah, while it is beat the game in a sense, the randomizer itself, like the mod, locks the door. Hey, there's that aerial dodge.
Nice. Told you.
Yeah. The randomizer locks the door to the final bosses behind 3 items called proofs. They're big circle, gray, like silver spheres that you'll see at some point. And basically those proofs are what you need to beat the game. You need all 3 of them before you're in go mode, if you're familiar with randomizers. And so he's going to hopefully be looking for those all over the place, but he also needs movement abilities, like we talked about. He's actually got a pretty good set already now. And he needs combat abilities, which he's gotten some good ones, but not necessarily the best ones for early fights or for like simple mob fights. Some of them are kind of a little bit better for some later fights, I'd say. So hopefully he can find a lot of magic along the way.
Yeah, what I wanted to tack on to what I think makes 2FM Randos so fun is being able to on-the-fly improvise in fights with the tools you have, because it's completely different than a normal playthrough. You know, like he already has Trinity Limit, and like this world it wouldn't matter, but going into like, say, Hollow Bastion 1 with Trinity Limit right away is a little, you know, weird for some people.
Right.
And you have to really think about the tools you have for the fights. Like having early reflect is a big, you know, game changer for safety on a lot of fights. Or if you don't have reflect, when you normally would, and that's how you used to play the game, then suddenly you need to really think outside the box and be like, how am I going to handle this fight when I don't have the tools I normally have? And Xigbar is a huge wall that comes to mind for that.
And rather than just being completely just, I need to go everywhere with no input from the game or whatever, there's a system of hints that the community developed, originally designed by Spike Vegeta, that basically gives you an idea of how to find some of the most important tools to help beat the game or beat mob fights. So what we're going to refer to a lot is a concept called important checks. And that is your magic, your drive forms, your summons, your torn pages, second chance and once more, and Ansem reports. And the reason Ansem reports are included is because they give you hints as to where all of those important checks are. So if you see on the top left corner of the broadcast there is a little tracker, and it doesn't really have much on it right now. All of the important items are going to pop into that tracker as Sonic finds them. And if he ever finds an Ansem report, then we're going to help let you know where that Ansem report is kind of hinting him to go to potentially get some important checks.
I was going to say that this is actually pretty unlucky in terms of important checks because he only has a torn page. Usually, on average, you would at least have like 5 things by now, especially what's covering like Disney Castle and Pride Lands, of course. But yeah, I'm sure he'll get stuff soon.
Also,
he did get a negative combo and form boost in the last area, which both are pretty useful.
Yeah, and also not having any Ansem reports yet. It's not like incredibly uncommon, but it's really nice to get some Ansem reports early because the more of those you get, the more hints you have available to you, which tells you more about the worlds. It gives you an idea like, do I want to go to Hollow Bastion right now, or do I maybe want to go to, Twilight Town? Do I want to go to Olympus Coliseum or Land of Dragons? The Ansem report hints are what help you make those decisions, along with the tools that you just have on your character at that moment in the seed.
In regards to beginning, I would say instead of reports, I actually prefer things like maybe a little more utility, like of course movement and drives are big, maybe like a good summon, reflect magnet, rather than reports right away, because for me, I will shotgun most stuff anyway, because they're so fast that you can just get really good stuff even if they're not important checks. So right now he's following like a pretty cookie cutter, and now he's like, as you see, going to Olympus, he has glide, so this part will be fast. He probably wouldn't have jumped here without glide, for example, but a report, reports early are still nice to get, but I don't, personally for me, I like some other things until I'm done shotgunning some of the early visits.
Yeah, I guess I agree. What I tend to like is to have a few of them by the end of the shotgunning, I guess is a better way to describe it. That way I have an idea of like, okay, I'm going to check a bunch of the early worlds that I normally like to check, but now where do I go? And to have a clue of where to go next is always really nice. Glide level 2 is huge right there.
That's a big deal for movement,
Yeah.
That's going to save a lot of time.
The big reason is like glide level 2 is just faster than glide level 1, which on its own already sounds great, right? For a speed run, it's faster. Wow. But also it makes it so that when you're hovering just above the ground, you will not stop. You actually can hover above the ground indefinitely, which is one of the things that slows glide 1 down a lot.
That's a good report he just got. He finally got his first report, and it hints the world that never was. We have to, no matter what, beat the world that never was in Rando with the current way it's set up. So the fact that we know how many important things are there, we could know when we might have to leave if we don't have all 3 proofs. So Sonic's probably pretty content with getting that report so early.
Yeah, so what you see now is next to the heart in the bottom right corner of the tracker, there's a 4. And that means there are 4 important checks there, as Biz was saying. And because of some kind of cheesy strategies that have been discovered over the years, I wouldn't be shocked if we end up seeing Sonic go there pretty early. I would imagine after a little bit more shotgunning, maybe an Agrabah or a couple other things, but we could see him go there pretty early now that he has a hint.
And Halloween Town into probably Agrabah is his play. If he gets a form, he might do Beast Castle, or Hollow Bastion would probably be the next play, is my assumption.
Yeah, those are also good. But like, hey man, if you can get through Roxas early and get those 15 checks, that's not a bad idea either.
I think because he already had a negative combo, he's actually trying to bait out the second negative combo because
You're
that
right.
actually speeds up Roxas a lot
Yeah.
if you can do that. Although I kind of want him to showcase the quick
The
run
cheese.
strat.
We got 2 runs potentially. Like
Yeah, I
he'll be able to
guess, yeah.
showcase it at some
I
point.
don't think he's going to get the other negative combo before Roxas, but it's possible.
Yeah,
I
you
know
never
Salad
know.
loves to bait for that a lot, so that's
Yeah.
probably what Sonic's trying.
Also, I've been playing a lot of co-op recently, so my my ideas of what places are good to go next are a little warped, a little biased towards what I tend to do in those.
Yeah.
But that's with 2 people doing it. Whole different world. We're not going to go into that. Sonic equipped a few more useful abilities. Nothing that's like too groundbreaking to really worry about explaining right now. But basically, he's just going to equip any abilities that are useful to him as long as he has the ability power to do so. Which you start with 50 because it's critical mode, and because the randomizer starts you with 50 even if you're not playing on critical mode because it's more fun. And so he'll just basically put on anything he can that is going to help him out.
So growth abilities are not tracked on the screen with this specific setup of the tracker, but he's getting a lot of, there's another one, another
Wow,
growth
yeah.
ability. He has a lot right now.
Yeah, so that might make worlds that involve a lot more movement than fighting more appealing potentially. We're still in the early bits of this seed, so he's probably going to be checking a lot based on density, like how many checks per minute he can get and stuff like that. But having that many movement abilities early on is really great.
So I wanted to also mention that I kind of touched on this a little earlier. We purposely avoid fights early on until we get the points like this because, as you can see, our HP bar is incredibly small on critical mode, especially rando in general. But critical mode doesn't make it any easier to survive, and it actually is like that a lot of the run. It's really difficult to get more HP in this because you get the HP bonuses from like generally bosses and special fight events and such. So it's really challenging to survive in a lot of these fights without good enough tools because you'll just get one-shotted if you don't happen to find second chance or once more.
Yeah, Halloween Town is a nice place to go because it has a lot of chests in it early on, and that one fight that Sonic just did, you can consistently do it that same exact way that Sonic did it every time because you get 2 ethers from Jack, and he is the one who lets you use that dance call ability that you saw him use twice there. Now, Sonic just got a Shadow Archive Plus, which is a great magic accessory, and a new report, which tells him that there are 3 important checks on Sora's heart. And what that means is that basically the level up rewards that he gets over the course of the leveling up from anywhere from level 2 to level 50, those will have 3 important checks on them.
I'm actually legitimately surprised he's not waiting for the second negative combo, but maybe he just doesn't want to walk all the way to Agrabah or glide and then glide back here
And then glide
whatnot.
back. Oh my
Like
God,
he's kind
another
of doing
area.
like the circle method in the room, which is generally what I do too. So
Yeah.
like I get it.
Plus, like if he gets, I don't know, it's just like he could get some extra. He has Trinity Limit. If he gets a magnet here, or like Wisdom Form or something, he could almost like push Agrabah further if he wanted to, like further than the usual stopping point. I wouldn't be shocked though if he's doing this because he wants to show off the cheese, which I think
Yeah.
is great to do because y'all are gonna love this. Anybody who's played this version of the game, like with Roxas in it, knows how hard this fight is. It's
Yep.
in the main
And the-
story, one of the hardest fights, if not the hardest for most casual people.
In the
I'd say.
main story, I consider it the hardest story fight. In Rando, obviously it's not, and Sonic's doing it early, and you'll see why. He's purposely not punishing Roxas. If you ignore Roxas 4 attacks at the very beginning, he does this little reaction command. You steal his Keyblades, and Sonic is going to combo him into the wall, hopefully successfully. Yep. And now all he's going to do is quick run him for approximately 2 minutes, and he doesn't have scan, so he actually has to pay attention to his timer. So he'll end it around 26:40 something, maybe a little more to be safe.
Yeah. And,
The way, okay, so
yeah.
Sorry, go
the
ahead,
way
Richard.
this works.
Before you get into that, well, I want to,
Okay.
explain to everyone, this is a perfect opportunity for you to go check out our runner, twitch.tv/Sonic Shadow Silver 2. I'll post that in chat as well. Go ahead and give him a follow. He's also been pushing for partner recently, so any follow that you have to Sonic Shadow Silver 2 will really help towards that cause if you're liking what you're seeing here.
Yeah, so did you can
Go ahead. I was just gonna say you
Oh.
can finish your thought.
Well, I was just going to explain how this works because this is confusing to people who don't know the game well. So bosses have revenge value where you can't just normally infinitely combo them. Most of the time, they'll just break out eventually. So the way this works is that when you steal his Keyblades with that reaction command and you quick run, the Keyblades actually attack. So all you have to do is get a stagger on him going, and then you can just quick run him and it will just keep staggering him, and it doesn't add revenge value. Roxas's Keyblades that you steal do not add revenge value at all, so it's basically just an infinite stun lock as long as Sonic keeps just mashing quick run. That's all he's really doing. He's moving the camera, but he doesn't really have to. He can just sit there mashing square the whole time, and eventually Roxas will die. It's just not a lot of damage.
Everyone has their own methods of like doing this to make it like to keep it consistent. This may also be trying to optimize making sure every single blade hits as much as possible. Now the trick here is that as Biz mentioned, there's no scan here. This quick running movement will not kill Roxas, even if it gets him all the way to 1 health. The way that you kill bosses in this game requires you to use either a finisher move, a form of magic, or something else that acts like a finisher. There's some unique moves that do that. Trinity Limit is one of them. So he went ahead and used that to finish it off. Limits in general can generally do it. And he got a Blizzard as a reward, which is nice because he didn't have any magic before, and that is a pretty handy piece of magic.
Finally, a little bit of decent luck. Whenever I see a Blizzard, I just think, oh yeah, and a fire. And I just think of Port Royal whenever I see a Blizzard.
Same. Oh my gosh, Glide 3. Okay,
and that actually is Glide level 3 too.
It is, yeah. Auto Final, that can potentially be nice. He hopefully, ideally would love to see drive forms in general, but also Final Form in particular is a very useful one. It's just, I mean, it's meant to be the overpowered form. And it can also help a lot with the next boss in this world, Xigbar, if like when he decides he needs to do that. So Final is something that we're going to hopefully see at some point, but doesn't necessarily have to show up. The Blizzard boost that he also picked up is huge as well.
I'm interested to see if he's going to try to EXP boost the Dragoon fight, because this is such a late game world. It's the final world. This fight right here gives you a lot of EXP when you're like level 5.
It's more than minimum health, but I don't know if he can take a hit. Like,
no, now he can't. He would have had to mess with the sorcerers, and that, I guess he didn't want a chance death cycling to them because it's a little tricky.
That is really hard. Okay,
he's not even fighting them either. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that might have been one of the other reasons he came here kind of early, was in order to fight the Dragoons and just get a bunch of experience. Even if you don't experience boost them, you get quite a bit. But it's without a magnet. Magnet is what makes it really safe, or really like any summon and reflect. Yeah.
He didn't really have much to make it really easy. He would have just had like, like guard break and aerial combos.
Right. The other technically small downside of leveling up any further would have made this fight take a little longer, because there are some fights in this game that you can actually lose in order to progress. And this is one of them. So you tend to come here pretty early because it has a lot of front-loaded chests in it, and you can lose that fight to end it instantly.
Yeah, and there are a lot of chests here, but you wouldn't actually want to like start with Agrabah because, as you can see, it's kind of a big open area, and there's multiple rooms. So having glide and aerial dodge is very convenient to make Agrabah really fast and safer.
Yes,
as you might see soon.
So Sonic picked up a reaction boost back there, another useful supportive ability. Also, he's going to grab the items from Aladdin. Let's see, and it looks like Sonic is currently. Okay, no, is doing the Shadow Archive Plus. I was curious if he was going to favor the Full Bloom Plus or the Shadow Archive now that he has some magic. It makes sense to favor the Shadow Archive Plus since it gives him extra magic. And Blizzard and Fire are going to be his main tools. I fully expect him to go all the way through here until the... oh, yeah, Reaction Boost. It's going to one-shot. Nice. I fully expect him to go all the way to the Abu minigame here before leaving. Unless, something magic happens and he finds out that this world is done before then.
I wonder if he would even still push it, because those checks are so easy to get. At
least Cave of Wonders, you could always like skip the actual mini game, but it's not that long, and it's still another check. The save points right there. Another aerial dodge on levels. That's amazing.
This is still a really unlucky important check run. 5 important checks in about 20 minutes is pretty atrocious, so I'm a little scared for Sonic.
Yeah, but he still has plenty of areas that are not super scary to go to. He's got Twilight Town, he's got Hollow Bastion. So I actually prefer having more movement front loaded on me with like those areas still left than than necessarily like some extra magic and stuff and not have any way to get around the worlds quickly.
And I think he really needs a drive, because I know the way Sonic plays Rando in his mind. He loves to drive level every fight he really can, and right now it's probably killing them that he can't really just get any levels on anything, because you never know if there's a proof on high level drives.
Yeah,
you want to get that going as soon as possible, or even reports that help you figure out where other stuff is. That's a big meta that a lot of people lose out on versus other people.
There's a thunder. That's pretty nice. That's an important check. That's why it popped up in the lamp next to the lamp icon there for Agrabah in the tracker. And Sonic, because his abilities are so good, he could just jump over a lot of the enemy triggers here, so he doesn't spawn a lot of the more difficult enemies in this area. And naturally, he's going to want to jump and use glide anyways. Now,
which is good, yeah.
Yeah, it's just good movement and just safe, not have to deal with it. This is the Abu minigame. There is still more to this world after this minigame, but things get a little bit harder from that point. It's also some spots that are really nice for leveling certain forms. I've never seen that. That's great.
That's some pretty interesting twitching movement. I usually just push him around, I guess.
Fun thing to notice, Sonic actually plays on mouse and keyboard because he's just that much better than everybody else, that if you played with a controller, it would it wouldn't be fair.
No one would ever be able to beat him, I guess. Yeah, I think so. I can't play it on a keyboard.
So the chat can't see right now, but we can see his stats. He's got a great magic stat right now. He has 27 magic at level 11 with his current setup of equipment. That is really nice.
It's strong, so he's going to favor magic attacks whenever he can. It looks like he's going to death abuse here. Like, you usually want to wait to come to Beast Castle until you have Valor or Wisdom, because this first fight is a perfect place to get a quick few levels on it. But he probably feels like he has no choice. He's probably waiting on Twilight Town to get Final. You don't usually want to jump in there without Final. And Hollow Bastion, I feel like he could have tried going there first. I probably would have. But it could pay off coming here.
And also, it's kind of a trade-off, because you can level Valor or Wisdom here, but you can also level Final or Limit Form in Hollow Bastion. So maybe he's just valuing those a little bit higher if he can try to get those. He did get another Torn Page. That's something he probably won't worry about just yet, but that does mean that he could check 3 more chests in 100 Acre Wood whenever he wants. Hey, there it is. There's that Limit Form.
All right. He's probably going to use it on Thresholder if he chooses to fight Thresholder, which I imagine he's going to. Did he miss a chest?
I think he missed a chest. Yeah.
Oh, no.
He definitely can't hear us and definitely won't turn around to go pick up the chest he skipped.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to remember either. That's not a...
No, I think he actually can hear us, though. I'm guessing.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure. Maybe not.
Sonic is just extremely confident and has played so much Rando. Knows that chest has nothing, so he's not going to get
Sometimes he just, horizontal slash is so good.
Yeah.
I guess now's a good time to mention that the big brick wall of Rando runs is Xigbar. In Rando, he is the hardest story fight that you have to do anyway. So the problem is you need a lot of decent tools to be able to handle him, and horizontal slash is definitely one of them. If he can get berserk charge, which he doesn't have yet, then he'll be able to just kind of crush the Xigbar if he just times horizontal slash spam well. But without it, the fight becomes ridiculously more challenging.
Yes, yeah, horizontal slash is really nice to see, just knowing that he'll be able to use that later. So you're seeing him do this little mini game, also popping some of the items that he's acquired, like Power Boost and Magic Boost. It's just going to increase his stats. And another really small thing, since we got a chance to talk about it for a moment before Sonic gets into this boss fight, Sonic popped into Limit Form before starting this minigame. The reason he did that is that minigame is going to revert you from your form, refill all of your drive, and it's going to be like you never used it, except it will add to a hidden counter that increases his chance of getting anti-form. I'm guessing this is why he did it, because his drive was full. And
it's possible, yeah. That's probably why he would do it.
Yeah, and if Sonic wants to get final form as quickly as he can, he needs to rack up anti-points in order to do that. We're not going to go like too hard into the mechanics of anti-form and anti-points, because it's a whole like bee's nest. But that would be my guess as to why he did that.
Yeah, cause I mean he's probably right now figuring he's gonna force final, and I know Sonic loves the force final too. A lot of people will just go in the TT1 without it and be like, whatever, who cares? But Sonic likes to force it because it's such a prime place to quickly level final really high.
I did not know you could one cycle it. He just one cycled that, right? Or was I like explaining
I don't
anti-form for
think
so long that I spaced
Yeah,
out
that
and
was
missed
a
the
one
first
cycle.
half? That was one cycle? Oh my god, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you
if
can
have
one
seven
cycle.
team- Yeah,
Go
if you
ahead.
have 7 team stripe, you can do the last 3 hits of stripe right for a possessor, and then it'll kill him.
That's amazing. That
But if
is
you have-
incredible.
Yeah,
if you
I
have
actually
Fire
didn't know
Strike
that.
and- If you have Fire Strike and that, then there'll be the last 2 finishers of stripe right instead of the last 3.
All right, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna
I-
open a
I
notepad
do
real
want to
quick.
reiterate that Sonic has a lot of experience in this game, and that's also amazing. And being the person that developed this randomizer, it's very amazing to see how much Sonic knows about this game.
Not even just this game, the entire series
Yeah.
he knows an incredible amount about. And 2FM, he obviously, like back in the any percent regular run days, he was coming up with strats left and right all the time and stuff like that. So he knows this game in and out and how to do like really weird strats like that you normally wouldn't be able to do in a normal playthrough.
I just thought of why Sonic didn't turn around and grab that chest, because he was galaxy braining all of us. He's just gonna get it after after Beast. Like he's
I
just gonna
guess.
get it when he warps to the wardrobe, because it'll put him back in the center anyways after like leaving the wardrobe room. So it's reduced movement and it makes sense. All right, so time for this Beast fight. This one's not too bad either because you can stun Beast with the minigame. You can actually die in this like really easily if you're a little careless. But he has limit form, so he's going to be able to hopefully stun lock Beast here while also leveling limit form at the same time. That is what Biz was talking about earlier about really wanting those drive forms to show up, so that way he could start leveling them while also progressing the story in various worlds. The one problem is he only has limit form, and the level to which you can get each form is based on how many forms you have. So in other words, he can only get limit form to level 3 right now.
Which is another incentive to force out final, because then you could get both forms to level 4. So that, So can Sonic hear us the whole time? I kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't want to say what I think you're going to do then, I think.
Why
Yeah, well,
not?
that's fine.
You can say
I don't
you
know.
can say it
Does
so
that bother
Sonic
you?
can do the exact opposite of what you say.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm thinking. He's just going to be like, well, screw that guy.
Well, exactly. That's why. That's what's fun about it. Hey, vicinity break. That's kind of
You
more of
don't know
a.
me.
That's almost more of a personal choice ability. Like some people like it, some people don't. I like it if you end up with some pretty high strength because it can one-shot small mobs. But Sonic also took the opportunity to level his limit form to level 3. And that is the highest he's going to be able to get that right now. Looks like he's going to head back to Halloween Town. And this is a Sonic classic right here. I think Sonic values this higher than a lot of people do, which is he's going to force final form now.
And honestly, I do the same thing. I usually never jump into TT1 without final forms. And I agree why. It is technically a bit risky. So right now he's going to force final form, right? So it's random when to get it if you don't have the light and darkness ability. And the problem is you have to get anti-form up to 5 times before finally getting final form. So right now, not only does he have to keep building these anti-points by going into a drive in this fight, and then room transitioning to get his drive back and whatnot, but he has to get lucky enough to get anti-form eventually, and then hopefully before the 5th anti-form, he'll actually get it.
Wow, he got it on first
Wow.
anti-form. That's
That
really
is-
lucky.
That is very lucky, and that definitely makes it worth it. There are situations where you can waste like 5 minutes here trying to get it if you're really unlucky, and then suddenly you find final form in TT1 right away, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Now, in order to make the game not crash, the drive forms that you acquire that require 2 Keyblades actually come with a Keyblade. He checked the final form one. It wasn't really very good, so he just switched and put something else on it. And now he's coming to Hollow Bastion because he can get a free level on final form in this first fight. This has enough nobodies to level up final form to level 2 with the current settings. And he can also potentially progress and maybe even get level 4 on limit form because he has 2 forms now.
Yeah, and it is surprising he came here this late because most runners don't wait this long to go to HB1, but he did get the final form level there, and if he gets more drives, then he'll even benefit more going to TT1 next. So,
Yeah.
But if I had to predict, I say he's going to do a HB2 a bit before TT1, and he just got Genie, which unfortunately in Rando is generally the worst summon because you don't really level summons in this like you do in regular any percent. Which means if you do any of Genie's actual limit attacks, he pretty much just dismisses after one. So he's the most disappointing summon to get.
He's still like, it's kind of one of those, you'll still take it over nothing. If you're really low on tools, he'll still help you out. And you can try to make some strategies work with Genie. But yeah, unfortunately, out of all the summons, he's definitely the worst for Rando. Some more limit leveling we're getting here. Every time that Sonic uses the finisher on one of these limits, then it will give 1 extra experience to that limit form. And so he's just trying to get all the way up to level 4. Sonic is actually using some ethers pretty aggressively as well, which can be a little scary without finding a money pouch, an item that is... the effects of it are added by Rando to give you
there's a lot of
money.
like tiny little changes in Rando. The money pouches, if you know the normal story lore, there's 2 of them that exist in the story, and Sonic and Rando decided to make both of them equal to 5,000 money each, which is a lot of ethers, around 40 ethers I recall. So getting those in Rando is a big game changer because it means you can kind of just blow through ethers without worrying about running out. But right now he doesn't have that, so it is a little scary to see him going through them, but that's how much he values drive leveling. He prioritizes that incredibly highly in his runs.
Yeah, I think that's been pretty clear throughout this seed, which is cool to see. Every runner is going to have their slightly different biases and preferences on what worlds they do early or how early they check, Sora's levels or drive levels. So it's a big balancing act, as any randomizer is. And wow, we actually don't have to see the skateboard here because his movement is so good.
Yes. Yeah. That's why I am surprised he didn't come here earlier, because it's just like the second he had that like level 3 glide. This Hollow Bastion 2 is just so fast.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna dip into core, which you can explain, I guess, that when we get there. But for now, he's just obviously picking up the quick checks here, which means he's gonna have to do 1 fight, but he has enough utility to should be able to do it without too much trouble.
Yeah, he could leave it for later potentially as well. So we'll see when he gets there. But an interesting thing was he summoned Genie here. I think the main reason for that was just so that the gauge would run out, because that's how summons level up. I had actually never thought about doing that in here before, and that makes a lot of sense. Like, costs you practically no time. You might as well.
Especially because now he's stuck with Genie for the time being, so he's like, well, I might as well, level it up in case I have to use Genie.
Yeah.
And there's the magnet for corridor fight.
Yeah, that is probably going to be enough. That between that and fire as well, he could just final form fire. Like, he'll probably do the fight here. He could leave though. We'll see. Finishing plus.
Now he's got 2 of those, which is pretty nice. Do you just really need 1 for certain Xigbar strats? So in a go mode seed, having 1 finishing plus is already a relief.
Yeah, finishing plus, the first one is a really big deal, not only for Xigbar, but also for a lot of mob fights, because if you have a magnet and a finishing plus, you can use magnet and then another spell like thunder or blizzard, and that will help you take out enemies really fast. So second one is just nice to have. Looks like he is going to indeed go through this fight, potentially try to level some final form or just stay safe. He is going to go for some final form leveling because these are the nobodies, which he needs for final form experience. And he's doing a lot of jumps to kind of bait some enemies into giving him an ability to use Rising Sun here, and also just to stay safe, because final form, you see how it has 2 Keyblades like swinging around him, kind of just hanging out back there. Those will attack enemies based on a lot of actions that you do as Sora, and they help keep you safe by deflecting attacks. So jumping around a lot can help make that happen. And you also want to use magnet in the air. So there's other reasons for doing it. Hey, money pouch.
Oh man, there's the money pouch. Okay.
Yeah,
so now ethers are comfy for Sonic. He's content with spamming ethers whenever he needs it.
We got the lucky spawn there. So Sonic also is now checking Cavern of Remembrance. If you don't know what this area is, then it might be because you just played this game as a kid when it came out on PS2 and haven't played it like in any of the remastered versions. But this was an area added in Final Mix, and the kind of this area is super late game. This is like post game, late game. Oh, he's just showing
Wait, did he
off now.
save?
Well, no, he put in the fix. The
Oh, he's running the
void trick.
fix. Oh, okay.
Okay, so he just wanted to show off some cool stuff, which is great because we love seeing cool stuff. So Sonic's gonna go out of bounds. If you grab that ledge at a very specific spot, you can go out of bounds. And it's just his.
Oh,
Is
he
his,
almost
like,
had it.
Is he good enough to do this without he doesn't need a master form? I don't think I've seen this without needing.
He
master
has
form.
enough growth. I think
Yeah.
he has like level 3s of aerial and quick run, so I think he should be fine. I don't know the exact number he's on,
Right.
but Sonic
All
knows
right.
exactly the level of growth he needs to be able to do this. He's just gonna quick run aerial dodge across.
Oh,
he
final
has
form for the
He's
height,
gonna
then he'll aerial dodge. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, makes sense. Or not even aerial dodge. Oh,
ooh.
ooh.
He could revert me. No, I don't know. Okay, well that's unfortunate.
Saved it, but lost the drive. Yeah, unfortunate. I like the attempt though, Sonic, to try to show it off. That is a really hard strat called core skip, where basically you can avoid having to do the fights in here. And Berserk Charge is a big ability, isn't it?
Zigbar is pretty much dead now with the leveled up final form and also having horizontal slash and berserk charge. I think he just needs a limit, which he may already have. I don't know last time he checked. But he either needs cure or a limit to get rid of his MP to make Zigbar easy.
Or he can do final form magnet loops until it runs out. Like absolute worst case.
That'd be worst case. It's like he at least now wouldn't really struggle to take down Zigbar if he got all 3 proofs. Of course, right now he has 0
He has
proofs,
0,
which
yeah.
is a little scary.
And he has an EXP boost, so like he could still boost his stats too. Doesn't have to really worry about doing it at low level.
Okay, here we go. He's going for it right now, I guess.
Or he might just go boost his level. I'm not-
Before TT1 is interesting, but that's fine. There's 2 more. We know there's, based on the tracker, there's 2 more important checks. He had Blizzard Fire in this world, so there's 2 more, and they're after Zigbar, we know.
Or he might just be getting a shop. Oh yeah, he's gonna go do it. Okay.
Now he put on the Berserk chart. Wow.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I feel like I
This
didn't
is a
notice
really-
the menu enough to see what he was setting up, but I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But he
This is-
has no drive, I think, unless I missed something.
He does not have drive. No. So he's just gonna berserk charge horizontal slash.
Yeah.
So the trick right now with was he about to? I thought he showed limit for a second. Maybe wonder if he was about to do like magnet limit.
Well, he has Trinity, so yeah, he's doing Trinity. And I mean, ideally, you want Duck Flare or Comet to be able to like damage him during this.
Okay, so if everything goes well, this boss will not do anything from this point until he is dead. Sonic could like bail out and do final form if he builds up enough drive, but fortunately he did break out. This is an incredibly hard loop to do, and I have to note that with Sonic's current stats and level, he might as well be level 1. He is doing the same amount of damage to this boss as if he were level 1. It does not matter that he's actually level 15. So this is really hard. Thankfully, you are invulnerable while using limits, so that's keeping him a little safe.
Okay, now he has drive back to fall back on, so he's in a safer position now.
It's still really risky though, because basically the trick with Zigbar is that the hard part of Zigbar is his last phase, his 3rd phase, and if you don't keep him stun locked once he gets in that phase, that's where things get scary.
Oh, the smart pause buffer, I liked it. Yeah, I think Zigbar's dead, but yeah, that was pretty clean. I'm surprised he didn't let him room transition first, but Sonic was like, yeah, no fear, whatever.
Yeah, if Zigbar room transitions, he will not be able to use his big desperation move, which is the most deadly part about him. Well, okay, technically it's that phase is what's most deadly part about him, but he also won't be able to use a big laser attack. So now he can get some final form levels here, and also a lot of experience, which is great. Torn pages on levels and a report.
Yeah, wow, a lot at once. Hold on.
Yeah.
There's the first thing on levels that we finally found.
Oh yeah, it is, and he got report 11, which tells him that Land of Dragons has only one important check in it, and that's that would be a little disappointing if it weren't for the fact that Land of Dragons is kind of a slow world. So it's kind of nice. And hey, there's our first proof.
So now Sonic does not have to progress here after the next room. He does not have to fight the next boss. If he really wanted to, he could, but usually at this point you would bounce. So basically we know all 4 important checks here. That means there can't be any more proofs here. So Sonic has no incentive to finish this world right now until he can come back and be even stronger. So now he's likely to go to some other place.
Especially with the XP boost. Like, he knows he won't
Probably
have to be at
TT1.
level 1 stats. Yeah. TT1,
Yeah.
this is a world that should have been done 20 minutes ago. I'm calling you out on it, Sonic. You're just showing off. No, but I mean, this is really interesting routing. I'm not used to seeing this. It's super cool.
HB1 was the one that was getting me. that was triggering me.
Well, the thing with Twilight Town is it has a lot of checks in it, and it has 3 visits, and you can get over half the checks, or like around half or so, in the first visit alone. The problem with Twilight Town 1, the reason why you don't always want to commit to it too early, is that it is a unique world in the randomizer where, since it's so early in the game, you cannot leave until you completely beat the story of this first visit. So he did just find Wisdom Form, which is
Clutch,
nice.
yep. Which is real good right before the station fight for another final form grinding session, you know.
Another level on that. But even though there's a lot of chests here, you can get all the ones in the Tram Common, the ones in the woods here. He'll get many more in the tower, the Mystical Tower. But the problem is he has to do all of that. Even if like he found the next 2 proofs right away and he was already ready to beat the game, which probably not quite yet, it would not matter. He'd still have to beat this entire visit. So that's why Twilight Town can be like a little bit, put off by people early on.
It might be a little tricky to explain this, but if anyone's wondering why the numbers are sometimes blue for the worlds, what we call currently in this tracker is that those are called hinted hints. So basically, a little tiny bit of hint logic so people understand hints maybe a little bit better. Every hint or every proof has to be hinted by a report. And the world that report is in also has to be hinted. So if it's blue, that means you got the report in a world that was hinted. So Land of Dragons is a 1 because report 11, which was in the world that never was a hinted world.
Yeah, and levels are also hinted. Now, there's always a chance that a report just got hinted randomly. It's not a guarantee that there's a proof in the blue worlds. But it can, if you're kind of torn on a decision, it can help you make that decision.
Yeah, and it's never like a guarantee. Like, just because it meets the requirements of a proof being in these hinted hint worlds, it doesn't mean you should like chase a single important check in Land of Dragons completely.
Right. Yeah, not this early, especially because he also has a blue levels check, so he could push 2 the 2 checks on levels before doing Land of Dragons.
Which is very possible he could just do TT2 into 3 and do that because he also has experience boost, so he can quickly power level and then crush everything else. It's possible. I've seen Sonic power level early and he's won tournaments for it.
I started doing that because of Sonic. Like, I fully expect Sonic to go all the way to Twilight Town 3rd visit here, and he may or may not push the levels right away, but I fully expect him to go and have it available to him for whenever he wants to. Either way, like, I don't think we're gonna leave Twilight Town right after the first visit, but hey, we don't know. We're on this ride together, and we'll find out exactly where he goes. So
yeah, it's not a bad play sometimes to do TT2 into 3.
Port 12. So that tells us that Pride Lands has 2 important checks.
He's getting a lot of reports that are confirming worlds are not done yet. Those are still nice reports to get. So it's just unfortunate that he left off in those worlds at the parts where they were kind of going to slow down. So he has to think in the back of his mind, okay, there's one more thing in Pride Lands. There's one more thing in Halloween Town. It could be the proofs, but he's doing the smarter thing, which is check density first in this scenario.
Yeah, there's just so many chests and other things that give you randomized checks in Twilight Town that it makes more sense to just check this even if you don't have a hint about the place, because the odds are just still with you. So he's getting close to the end of the first visit, and then we'll find out when, whether he's going to keep going in Twilight Town. Just for some fun speculation while he's doing some wisdom form grinding in these force fights, what would you think would be some other decent plays if he doesn't go to Twilight Town 2, Biz?
Well, there is one important check in Land of Dragons. I don't think he should like push it far, but it wouldn't hurt to do like maybe like half of the like cave fight or something like right after that. But he could even, he has the tools. I don't know if he has the tools to do throne room skip with the growth he has. I don't know his growth levels, but he has a lot of growth.
I don't.
But he might not be able to.
If he gets master form here, though, he does.
So he could do that. Port Royal, he hasn't progressed at all after the first 3 chests. That's also pretty quick at this point for him with the magic he has. He could do at least the first few checks there. That's another possibility. He
could do. I think Agrabah up to Twin Lords is not terrible either, especially or like right before Twin Lords even maybe.
I think in this scenario he might be waiting to like pick up Valor or something.
Yeah, so
because
like
that's an easy Valor leveling spot.
But he could still do Treasure Room if he wanted, just for like 4
if he wanted to, yeah.
Another quick run there. Simulated Twilight Town is on the table. He probably won't go there yet. We're not desperate yet. Simulated Twilight Town is Roxas World, as you may know it. And basically it has the same problem that Twilight Town 1 has, where you can't leave until you nearly beat that world. But it's also way longer. And all of the checks, or the vast majority of them, are in the very end of that visit. So you tend to not go there right away.
Yeah, well, people, when they're starting out, and I was guilty of this too, when you have hints, you start important check chasing with hints, and it ends up leading you down rabbit holes, and you end up not getting the proofs when they could have been in really easy places. So Sonic, obviously, he's very experienced, and he's definitely thinking it through, like, do I really want to chase, like, 1 check in a world, even if I could do those fights, like, somewhat fast, or should I just keep doing check density? And it looks like he's choosing to progress in TT2, which is what we figured he was going to do.
So this is a fight that can be pretty difficult if you don't get tools. So like early on, even if you're somebody who prioritizes Twilight Town really heavily and wants to go there, you know, very early, this fight can be a problem. But with Sonic's current tools, he can definitely do it. He even took a hit intentionally so that way he can be in experience boost range. So the unfortunate.
I figured that might have. I think
no reflect is hard.
Yeah, I think he was just or hoping that base magnet would suck up all 3 of them, but it only got 1, and that ruined the whole thing. It's a lot of people like will relate magnet and reflect being broken. Base magnet and base reflect are not really that ridiculous. They're actually pretty tough to utilize and fights correctly.
I'd say base reflect is still like really strong, but base magnet is almost a better way to get to a finisher than it is like a magnet early on.
Base reflect is definitely worse than like base, or base magnet is worse than base reflect.
Yeah.
It's a tough fight without reflect, but I think if he uses an ether, he'll be fine.
His magic stat is so high, he could.
He can parry
if he wanted.
Yeah,
here,
he can do it.
He's gonna do that.
Yeah, he's fine.
So yeah, Sonic is like doing TT2. Like the experience boosting on top of it is just to help try to get those important checks that are on levels. And I wanted to briefly cover the mechanics of experience boosting because we might be seeing a lot of it soon. Which is experience boost is an ability that you equip, or it can be on a Keyblade in the randomizer. And what it does is whenever you are half health or lower, I believe, or is it less than 50? One of the two.
I believe it's less than 50, but I usually don't test exactly
that close. Yeah. You will gain twice the experience for for any enemy that you kill while you're at that health. And there are actually 2 experience boosts that you could equip simultaneously, and then you would get 3 times the experience. It's really useful for boosting both your stats and getting a lot of checks on the levels. And there's really 2 big places where you can do it efficiently, but then there's also other places where you can just kind of throw it in along the way. So Combo Master was picked up back there. I heard you react to that one.
Yeah, Combo Master is an incredible. It's a 2FM exclusive ability. It wasn't in the original KH2. It allows you to continue your combo even if you whiff hitting the enemy, and it's definitely a good fail-safe combo if you are worried about like whiffing any attacks on the enemy. But it also lets you do really cool stuff. Like if you get Magnet Burst, you can jump in the air and do a combo without hitting anything and still trigger that attack. So he doesn't have Magnet Burst yet, but Combo Master is still pretty useful for like final boss fights and such.
Explosion would be great too right now with Magnet and Finishing Plus. Just
Oh boy, he
Magnet
gets a
explosions.
simulated Twilight Town report.
Oh, did he? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a 1 or a 0, so you know it's on the table. I feel
2 is
it's
still
not
pretty
the worst
low,
play,
but here's a cure. He would like one of those. It's nice to just have one in case you need to like desperately heal your party members, or generally for Zigbar it can be useful.
Yeah.
But a cure is the least important check.
It's
on
unfortunate
the
it's
hits.
considered important, but it's consistent
sense.
with Magic. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes too much sense. But
All right, so
as
here we
much as
go, yeah.
everyone remembers cure. Okay, so core skip.
Core
again?
skip for realsies.
Yeah.
So yeah, core skip is once you have the right amount of growth or tools in general to do it, it doesn't hurt to do it because core skip lets you skip the 2 forced mob fights, the heartless mob fights here, to get all the chests after. Those mob fights are incredibly difficult in rando without good utility. So learning how to do this skip is pretty essential if you want to have like fast runs. So it takes a lot of practice to get this down, but he's gonna, clip out of bounds like J-Hob said last time, and then he's gonna grab this invisible ledge over here while he's out of bounds. That will allow him to aim for the other room. He barely got that. And now he's gonna.
Now he's gonna try to do the same thing with Final Form. Now that
And
Final Form is
he
a
has
higher
Combo
level,
Master now too, so it's much
Yeah.
safer too.
he could also probably have just glided, right? Like with how high its glide is now. Regardless, he made it, which is great. That means he doesn't have to do the fights. The one like tiny downside to doing this is that there is one chest you cannot access in the Cavern of Remembrance while doing this, by doing it this way. And what that means is he's basically going to do that last. That will be like one of the last checks he does in the entire seed if it came to it.
He did a really cool trick there with Final. If you mash glide, it's actually a hitbox, so he just mashed glide into those valves to quickly deplete the HP.
And then this is how he can skip the second fight by this is still after the first fight, but he just glides into that wall while in Final Form, and he gets a little bit of extra height, reverts, and aerial dodges. Now we get a lot of chests in here.
Yeah, you can't glide over the void, by the way. So like if
you
you're ever out
can't?
of bounds, you can't even glide at all.
That explains why he wasn't there. Okay, I didn't know that.
So
Finishing leap.
finishing leap, okay.
Nice.
No,
It's
finishing
not a
leap's
straight
nice
C,
with
though.
Magnet and finishing plus. So I mean, it can have at this point, it's probably good for him because he doesn't have explosion.
So there's normally another fight in that room right there, but because he hasn't done the first fight, the fight's not there.
There's actually normally enemies everywhere here, but when you skip those triggers, the game just, I guess, doesn't bother to assume, like the game
load
assumes
them,
that you
yeah.
have to do those fights first, obviously. So it just doesn't spawn anything here. The hazards are not here either, so
Steam's
that
not
you can
here
just
either?
freely,
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so you can just glide freely.
Core
and
skip
it's-
is
Why don't you tell me
really
about this
good
stuff?
because it's hard and it can crash your game if you're bad. But Sonic's working on making it not crash your game if you're bad, so that's really
Well,
cool.
technically,
has
it
already made
soft
happen.
locks you. Unfortunately,
yeah,
he
that's
missed the
what I mean.
glide there. It soft locks you, but that's why if you save,
can just reload
You can
it.
just reload to save and keep going. It's just a time loss. I don't know why save states for that are not allowed because they are allowed for other soft locks. But if Sonic fixes it, it won't matter anyway.
Yeah, which he already pretty much has done, so that's incredible.
Yeah.
All right, so we're getting the last chest now that he can get. There's one more chest here, but if I'm not mistaken, he's just fallen. Okay. The last chest there, actually, there is an invisible wall that is still put up there because that would be the way to get to the super bosses. And I guess they had the forethought to at least be like, well, hey, even if they somehow get here, we're not letting them get to the super bosses. So they put an invisible wall there, but it also means that he can't get that chest. He did get a guard, nice to have, especially without reflect. And now he could go further in Hollow Bastion 2, or he could dip out and go somewhere else. Looks like
Yeah, he's
Hollow
going to
Bastion
do
2.
this fight, final form him to death, and then pick up
Well,
the
he
2 chests.
Doesn't have drive, but he could get it back with Magnet
yeah, he
Trinity or
lost
some
drive.
other
Yeah.
method if he wanted.
This looks pretty solid, yeah.
Another glide.
He's also like decently strong now. He's level 23,
Yeah.
so it's not too bad for damage output with magic.
36 magic is like that's basically what 35 is, like the stat that they want you to have for the World That Never Was bosses. So
I think
having that
Sonic
now-
got hit there on purpose for EXP boost.
Yeah, might have.
ballsy. And here's
are
going with the
still two
classic
checks.
Magnet Trinity strat.
Unfortunately,
Trinity
his magic's
itself-
too high. He killed him before he could get the drive back.
Yeah. Well, how much does he have?
Not, he doesn't need much. He could slap some enemies.
Yeah, he's fine. And he, doing that fight, he gets you these two important checks here. I don't know if he's gonna push, especially with it's unhinted now, this world. So I don't think he's gonna push farther here now. But
Yeah,
you
no
never
reflect, no
While
stitch.
Sonic goes through this as well, I do want to remind everyone that about every hour or so we try to take a break. And so, Sonic, I have a question for you. Do you think this is probably a good time after
What
we
would that
do
be?
this first visit in 100 Acre Wood?
You want to do it after the after the minigame,
yeah.
Sonic?
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, so, I want to just remind everyone that on Hotfix, we want to, promote wellness, give everyone a chance to stretch, hydrate, and also follow our runner at twitch.tv/Sonic Shadow Silver 2. So, we're just going to take a quick break after the conclusion of this minigame, and we'll be right back after that with the rest of the randomizer.
Yeah. To note real quick about this minigame, if it seems sped up, it is. the randomizer actually speeds up this minigame, the next minigame, and some basically like auto-scroller sections in Simulated Twilight Town, just because it made it way nicer. So it's just 2 times as fast. It takes 45 seconds, I think, to get through this.
It's
And,
definitely much more worth it to do this now than it used to be ever since that change.
Sonic actually lost 3 seconds. Or
I'm going to play break 1 of them now.
Yep, if you want to count us down, Sonic.
Break 3, 2, 1, pause.
All right, and so we'll be right back after this. I also just wanted to note, I saw a few questions in chat, people interested in this randomizer. If you Google search Cage 2 randomizer,
I'll
there's
drop
an
a link.
entire site about the randomizer itself, and it is very detailed. There's a lot of things you can do, even if you're just getting started with, Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer in general, or doing any type of run for it. There's beginner mode, and there's a lot of things that you can either set or not set in there that'll help you get yourself started with going through Cage 2 Rando. So be sure to check that out as we go to a break here. I want to remind everyone, if you have Amazon Prime, that means you have Prime Gaming, and you can sub to any channel on Twitch every month for free. So please consider using that to sub to the GDQ Twitch channel. But with that, we're going to be having a quick break, and we'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Game Masters, where we're seeing Sonic here go through this Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer very quickly. And we're going to actually just get right back into it because there's some exciting stuff going on in this randomizer. So, Sonic, feel free to get us a countdown when you're ready.
All right, ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
all right. So back in it, it looked like Sonic's next plan was to go ahead and go to the torn pages. There's no hint here, but he's got, 3 of them at this point? Yeah, 3 of them.
Yeah. Oh, and he got a report, of course. Oh, that's a good report too. And so now we know how much stuff is in Twilight Town. So it's not unlikely that he might just go there next and finish that
Yeah.
up. Those are pretty reasonable to get now.
Also, his tools for so there's one fight that's barring him from the remainder of the Twilight Town checks, or at least the most, the majority of them. And his tools for that fight actually aren't super great right now. Normally, it's nice to have Stitch, Chicken Little, or Reflect at the, is nice, or just I don't know, just being Final Form Fire can be nice. It can work fine as well, but having a higher level fire would be great. It's kind of a little bit scary. I wouldn't be surprised if that's why he decided, hey, I'll just go check these torn pages real quick first, see if I get lucky, maybe get a reflector or something like that.
There's philosophies of pushing a Spooby Cave, as we call it, If you have 4 torn pages, you can go there right away. And with the sped up mini games, you only have 2 really obnoxiously silly mini games, which are the first 2, but they're only like a minute each. And then you get
45, I think, yeah.
the 40 something, yeah, and it's worth it because then you get a bunch of checks in that cave. Right now, Sonic though is he gets the next room, and then that's it for now.
Yes. Yeah. So it basically doing these torn pages gave him the ability to check 6 things because the first torn page he had already checked earlier. And he got a report out of it that's already nice. Like that's already kind of worth it just to know when I do go back to Twilight Town, there's still 2 more things. And is that all he's going to get for it?
Yeah, unfortunate. But the good news is this is a short mini game, so it's not
and now
no big deal.
He's all set up if he gets another torn page to be able to just go here and go to Spooky Cave, which has the most checks in it out of the torn pages.
Especially because he only has 1 proof so far, so this isn't like a terrible play or anything.
No, by no means.
My prediction next would be TT3 to clean up those last remaining checks. And it's like, yeah, that Mickey fight, he doesn't have great tools. He is like...
He's got good
He
magic
can do
with
fire and final.
Yeah.
And he is leveled up final, of course. So he can do it. It's just if he blows the drive too fast, then he might be in a little bit of trouble with the samurais. But I think he has guards, so it's like I think he'll be fine overall.
Yeah, he
might even try EXP boosting it. If I assume he knows how to do it without second chance, so because he hasn't found either once more second chance yet.
Yeah, that's the other big thing that like second chance would have been nice to be able to just to be able to like EXP boost from the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
that would have been kind of nice with how early you got an EXP boost, but he is going to go out to the Mickey fight and. Well, it's the fight where Mickey teams up with you. We're just so used to calling it the Mickey fight at this point.
You beat the crap out of Mickey.
Yeah. But yeah, he's got really high magic stat right now, pretty high strength stat as well. He's going to destroy these really quickly. He even has his final form up to already a really high level. The problem is that exactly what just happened. Mickey can knock the enemies away from his fires, and as soon as they get knocked away from the fires, it's hard to kind of get them all back in it at the same time. In this set of waves, the creepers that spawn have, they can drop down on you, and if you don't have reflect, then you got to kind of react to it in a different way. Now the samurais, okay, he's got plenty of drive gauge, so this is going to work out just fine.
And he's playing it safe by not trying to EXP boost it. I think the logic is that he can, if he wants, he can EXP boost basically right after this, so it's not it's not a big deal, And he's going to be able to most likely clean up these last few checks really. Last 2 checks really quickly, unless it's on the final fight here, then it's a little tedious, but that'd be pretty unlucky.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be. We'll see.
Probably.
So a couple of checks in this room. There's 3 checks in the main room. There's a magnet, so there's 1 more important check still left here.
That's a big deal to have Magnero right now. That's so much better than base magnet for mob fights. So if he can just find a reflect somewhere, he'll have maybe Stitcher Chick a little be nice too, and fire. So we're done here, but he's gonna probably grab this one. He might grab the next 2 checks as well.
Another high jump. His growth is ridiculous. At this point, he has the max level glide, which is a glide that normally is only available while in final form in the regular game. In the rando, they make it available at any point because hey, it's fun.
Yeah, so there's a logic where basically it's like if you're close enough to getting the last couple checks, even if there's nothing important left here, there still could be useful stuff, useful utility. So it's like you might as well grab it. And at this point, he's also going to grind a bit here. Hitting level 30 is usually a good milestone to where you can plow through a lot of the other worlds. And there's the second negative combo, which is nice. Yeah, not only does he has both of them on Sora, neither of them are stuck on Keyblades. Yeah, so
that he can use a high strength Keyblade and or an air combo boost Keyblade or something and destroy Syx with it.
Syx, and if he has to do, I don't know, if it's league settings, then Marluxia AS fight is on, so that's another one that falls victim to the double negative combo strat. So if he has to do that, that'll be easy too.
And this is a league setting seed, by the way.
Yeah, so those should be on. So I'm sure Sonic realized that as well the second he got that negative combo.
Yeah, I fully expect that Sonic's either gonna like just go until he gets both of the important checks here, or he's at least gonna go until probably getting one of them. If his level starts to get too high, then he might leave. But there's 2 important checks here. It's a blue hinted thing. I did just realize we didn't like realize it earlier. This simulated Twilight Town is a blue number. That's
now
scary.
It's blue, yeah. It wasn't at first, but I missed what report triggered that. But
Yeah, I think it might have been the Twilight Town one or something.
That was in Warhammer who went back to the Quiet Com, and then the report in Quiet Com is the FTC.
Yeah, Sonic's on the ball.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I've noticed is, you know, we've seen a lot of these hints. There's obviously Twilight Town with a 7, and all of these ones with what I think are relatively low numbers for hints. Does that, you know,
Yeah.
That's like
it's
put
the-
anything in your mind at all, Sonic? Like, it seems like, you know, maybe there's a couple out there that are unhinted that might have a lot.
Well, Sonic, do you have thoughts on that one, or you want us to just kind of cover it?
You cover it.
Okay. Yeah, so that's not a bad idea. He still has Port Royal available. He has Olympus Coliseum, places that have a lot of checks in them, or at least like, you know, can kind of go through them fairly quickly. So it is a little concerning, yes, Richard, that like some other place could be really big. 7 for Twilight Town, for example, is only 1 more than the average number of checks that should be there, and a lot of the rest are low. Sora's Heart being a 3 is probably pretty high, but I think at this point he's just kind of following the reports, and that's why he's not necessarily checking. Like,
For now, he definitely
highest
is, because he's also save scumming this world. So basically, he jumped into simulated Twilight Town, which is Roxas World, the beginning of the game. On emulator, the issue with this is that once you go here, you're stuck here for pretty much the entire time currently. I don't know if Sonic can ever change that or is going to. So usually people don't jump into here. And the other problem is that a lot of the checks are actually later on in this world. And, you know, there are a lot of checks in this world. There's, I believe, 26, which is a lot for, you know, 10 to 15 minutes. Not that bad. But secondly, you need limit form to make this even faster. So, and good movement, as you can see.
While
So
we're
there's a
talking
lot
about
of
the
things you
movement,
kind of need.
There are a couple comments in chat. I just want to point out that Roxas doesn't have all these animations, all these fancy animations. So you get to see some exciting movement here from Sonic.
Yeah. So there's 2 big things that we kind of take for granted as rando runners commonly that are really surprising to people who haven't seen this before. When you're moving around as Roxas, he's actually quick running. He's using the quick run ability, but Roxas doesn't have a quick run animation, so it just kind of hops you along. And then the other thing is being able to go into limit form like he just did there. It actually like swaps out your character model or something like that, so you can use limit form in simulated Twilight Town, even though you normally shouldn't be able to get it until very late in the game. And so he's going to do that a lot, because it turns out that Ragnarok, the ability that he was just using a moment ago, the limit, will both help him level up limit form and will just decimate pretty much every fight that he wants to use it in.
There's also some behind the scenes things in Rando for this world that Sonic changed to make it safer for no soft lock problems. Roxas does have access to all the growth abilities except for dodge roll. If you do dodge roll, you T stance and then you soft lock. So Sonic actually made it turn off dodge roll in this world for you, as well as Trinity limit, so you don't T stance with that either. So that is 2 very safe things Sonic put in Rando so that people don't accidentally soft lock in this world as easily.
Same with all the magic. If you use magic while not in the air,
Yes.
then
So
you
something I want to point out, in my work, if you enter limit form then set on a skateboard, I will key pose.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
The skateboard.
Yeah. The white skateboards are coded to only be used by Roxas, and the blue ones are coded to only be used by Sora. So limit form turns you into Sora. You use a white skateboard, and the game doesn't like it.
I'm learning so much.
Just gotta remove the skateboards, I guess, next.
Nobody uses them anyways. Nobody comes here with that.
Who would come here without limit form? What kind of crazy person?
or quick run, which is faster than the skateboards.
One of the things
But
I
yeah,
love is my first random seed, Hobbs told me specifically not to use magic, and what I ended up doing, went to ST to use magic.
right away.
I was just like,
There's
"Yeah,
actually a
what are you
problem with
doing?"
that. Yeah. KH1 Sora's outfit or model in this game actually can't use magic either. So I think it actually T-stances, but Sonic, of course, removed that model
Well,
from,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
from
you-
those fights.
You can't use it in that anyways, right? Because they're all replaced by limits. Experience boost. That's nice that he ended up stopping his experience boosting in Twilight Town, because now he can, instead of getting 2 times, he can get 3 times the experience. If he wants to go back there later and continue to try to find the important checks on levels. Yeah, as you know, this is kind of the tutorial portion of the game, so there's a lot of like text boxes that he's mashing through. There's also
sped this up, too.
this fight that is sped up. Yeah, this is normally some really long animations that you got to sit there and wait, and this world already is long enough to make it hard to want to do in rando. So instead he made it speed up, so that way you can actually get a little tiny bit higher value out of simulated Twilight Town. Now he's going to go into limit form here, and the reason being that he could do a lot of damage in limit form, but if he did not kill the boss there, he would have had to make sure he reverted, or he would have also T-posed. So there's a lot of little intricacies that you got to be careful about with STT, and you can see why people kind of tend to avoid it.
Also, the reason why it's so optional is because Open Cage removes all of the pre-render cutscenes. The flashback cutscenes are pre-render cutscenes.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I
Oh,
didn't
have you
know
not
that.
set up OpenCage, Biz?
Nope.
Yeah, so OpenCage is a mod loader that's currently in development, but some people have already started using it, and it is really nice because it will speed up all the loads of the game, and also it does remove the FMVs like Sonic was just saying.
So here we got struggle fights. If you chose to come here without limit form, these will be a little miserable unless you happen to have a draw as well. But if you have neither, then these are the worst thing. You wouldn't even really want to come here without some crazy amount of checks. But with limit form, as you can see, you just do Ragnarok or Infinity, whichever version you're playing, and then you just immediately basically win because it knocks all the orbs out of them, and draw from limit form sucks them up.
And because he's making sure to hit the Giga Impact part every time, he is still getting 1 experience on limit form every time he does this.
That is actually not the case for Struggle Fights, actually.
It's not?
Yeah, you do not get limit Yeti while in the Struggle Fights.
I did not know
Only
that.
these fights matter for limit Yeti.
Yeah, I remember being confused about that back in the day because I was like, huh, that's weird. Is it the struggle bat that triggers it? But I don't know.
I didn't know that. Okay, so the one you just did there does.
Yeah, it should, yeah.
That one counts,
And then Axel
but
as
the
well.
others don't. Wow, I never knew that. I always assumed it was on the struggle fights too, and I was just never getting a level up on there because, like, you know, whatever. What are the odds? I didn't know that. That's interesting. Well, all these other times that he's doing it, I was right. He's doing it for those. Just keep it in mind for those fights.
Although, fun fact, with limit form, level really doesn't matter in this world. That strat will basically work the same no matter what.
Yes. Yeah. You're just
Personally,
so
you
much
don't want to be
higher.
too high a level, actually, because you'll knock them out at the very beginning of Ragnarok and technically knock less orbs out of them, but you can make do.
It still will do enough, usually. The Giga Impact.
Usually, yeah.
But now that he is done with the struggle fights, because that was the last one, he is not very far away from getting the big wealth of checks in this world, which are all in the mansion and the train station and in Sunset Terrace. So that's going to be, now is when we're finally going to find the important checks in this world, most likely.
Hopefully. So that's the thing. Sonic save scummed it, which is actually allowed. So the reason he probably put this off is because he wanted to wait to have a report to know what's here. Otherwise, you're kind of just blindly here and you have to do everything. If he gets 2 important checks soon enough in this world, he can just reload the save and ignore them if they're not a proof or something he considers vital to his run.
Yeah. If
So
you get,
that
like,
is the
a
advantage
cure.
of waiting.
And reports, like, they give you the information, they give you their value immediately. So if he got like
Yeah.
a report and a cure or something, then he could just ditch it. Now, that being said, he's so far in the world that if he gets something even like mildly decent, like Peter Pan there, he might just keep it just because he doesn't have to go that much further to finish off the world.
Yeah.
At this
I
point, the rest is
probably-
in the mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't roll my save anyway because of that VIP boost.
That's true. The EXP boost. Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart with the 2 extra important
On-
checks left on levels.
Yeah, he doesn't really need stats anymore so much. Like they're still always nice, but the 2 important checks that are there, and it's also blue. So
Anyone else predicting a cure for the second important check here?
I'm gonna go with Chicken Little. I think there were 2 summons here.
Double summon. All right.
Yeah.
I'm expecting the disappointing cure, but either way, he's gonna close out the world, and after that, it's like, it's the thing about Rando is that it's really hard to come up with like the best decision this late in the run. So Sonic might either do what he's most comfortable with or what he just believes might be the smarter route. But that's the beauty of Rando is you just have to try to make on the fly intelligent decisions that may or may not, or risks even that may not pay off.
There is always when you're playing Rando, you're always gambling to some degree. Like you're kind of just trying to play percentage games in your head constantly, even if you don't know the actual percentages. That's what you're doing. You're thinking, I know roughly how many checks I can get in this world in roughly how much time. Do I value that higher than this other world? And it's value. So it's like really what playing a randomizer is all about once you are doing them somewhat competitively. And it's always hard to kind of keep that balance. Sometimes you're going to lose because the things you valued, or like you played the odds and the odds like beat you basically.
Yeah, sometimes you get thrown down rabbit holes too, where you'll find a report that leads you to one world and that world will lead you to another one, but the other person decided not to go there that early, so they got led somewhere else. So things like that just sometimes can happen too. But you can't cover all options, so you just gotta make the best decisions you can. And it was a blizzard.
I was gonna say the odds were with them that it'd be a report, and the next would be like a reflect or something, but ended up being a blizzard.
Yeah, no
You got another
reflect is a little unfortunate, and you don't need reflect to, believe it or not, you don't actually need reflect the entire run. I'm sure Sonic has cleared seeds without reflect before, as well as other runners. It's definitely doable. It's just it's slower and riskier, and less
hard.
fun,
and
hard,
way less fun. Yeah. He did get another blizzard boost to go with that blizzard, so now he has a Blizzara if he wants to like use that. He only has a single thunder, so Blizzara he might like value higher than thunder, especially like here where some of the enemies are immune to thunder. Olympus Coliseum here, this is unhinted, so he's just doing this out of the density. Port Royal, like we were talking about earlier, was another potential option. Pushing Space Paranoids a little further is potential.
And then Land of Dragons too. So like the big 3 after SDT would be like OC, LOD, Port Royal when you have to like do this much in them. So it's a tough call. He's choosing OC. That one important check in Land of Dragons could be all the way in Throne Room. So you really don't know if you're gonna have to push really far in that world for that one important check.
Knowing it's a 1, like knowing that there's only one thing there is almost like that almost makes Olympus Coliseum better, like have better odds of being higher than a 1. It's weird. Like
and Hollow Bastion's not hinted yet either, and sometimes a lot like that's a low amount for how far he's went. So there's probably stuff there left too, and I'm sure Sonic realizes that. So, but he doesn't have a reflect yet, so he would have slow. He would probably have a slow set of Final Fantasy fights.
Yeah. So he's going to fly through the fights in this world because normally this world is the second or third one that you like choose on the world map of the video game. So everything is a little bit lower level right now. He was using the double negative combos in order to just get to the finishers of his aerial combos there. So just magnet into finishers. We're already starting to see how nice those can be. And now Cerberus is going to be the next fight, which with his stats, I would guess he's just going to thunder spam through it. Or maybe if they their heads are low enough, maybe blizzard spam because of the double boost. But either way.
Well, he doesn't, unless he took it off, he did have a shock charm plus. I don't know about his normal abilities, but
he could about that.
Yeah, he's opting to try blizzard, but that's the problem.
Yeah,
is the heads.
They're whiffing.
And he doesn't have reflect, so he doesn't get the easy, quick super kill, whatever you want to call it. So he's just gonna have to spam this because Cerberus is gonna do his orb move now any second. Yeah, but he's pretty much almost dead at this point. Yeah, Sonic was confident on that last thunder, I guess.
Yeah. Well, worst case, he just swings a couple times. It wouldn't have been too bad. Or he could
Yeah.
have even, if it really came to it, he could have Orin's Limit, like done Orin's Limit.
For me, Orin's Limit is a little finicky there because it can actually whiff a lot.
Oh, it doesn't. I've never actually used it on that fight. I'll be honest. I just
It's because of
know
the
it's
slow,
there.
the stairs or whatever you call it. The
Yeah.
terrain messes with his limit on Cerberus heads. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
So the one downside about coming to Olympus Coliseum is he doesn't have Magnet Burst right now, which is a really useful ability for both fights, but also the orb mini games that you have
We
to do
did
here.
see Sonic put both negative combos on for this, though.
Yeah, because he's probably gonna just magnet and double magnet. That makes sense. I didn't know
And he
that
has
worked.
Magnero, which is
Yeah,
much better here.
I didn't
There-
know double.
And he has
magnet worked.
draw too, which is nice. Stuff like draw is something you might not really care to think about in rando, but then in situations like this, you're like, wow, I really wish I had a draw. And that's something you start critical mode with in the normal game. So a lot of stuff you start with, like the finishing pluses and stuff, you might take that for granted until you're doing rando, and then you don't have those for the whole run, and you're like, wow, I really miss those abilities.
Yeah, same with aerial recovery is another big one whenever
Yeah.
people start getting into the randomizer. Like you get hit, you get knocked up in the air, and then you just gotta watch Sora fall because you don't have aerial recovery. You normally get that really early in the game. Negative combos coming back off for now because the next fight potentially that he's gonna have to do is Demyx Water Clones. Still doesn't have Magna Burst, so it doesn't really need the negative combos. And now he's going to get kind of the wealth of the checks here in Olympus Coliseum. There's a lot of them, but you do have to go through some of those slower fights before you can get to them, which is why this is a later world that you come to.
Yeah, this is just a product of power leveling and why it's so useful in the run. So there's no like danger of like dying here now, and you can speed through it. And he has, of course, the growth, the false proof.
Yeah, that says proof. It's just a Keyblade. It just happens to have proof in the name of the Keyblade. It's not one of the 3 important ones that are locking him from beating the game.
He's actually getting pretty screwed over in this world right now. I would
Yeah.
say, oh, never mind. I spoke too soon.
Okay, report 1. So that tells us Beast Castle has 4 important checks. That's probably going to be the next place he goes after this because there's still 2 more there, and there's not that many checks left. There's some boss fights he'll have to do as a result, or at least one, and then, well, it's like a 2-parter. But he's probably going to go there next. Like, that's kind of the best lead he has right now besides levels.
Yeah, and this is something I definitely have made mistakes on in the past, is ignoring the bosses of worlds, like Beast Castle, for example, or like Timeless River for too long, and then there happens to be something good there. Because like all Sonic has to do is fight 2 bosses, which at this level, for such an early world, they're going to be quick, and then he'll jump right into the second visit, which Beast Castle 2 is very fast. He just doesn't have Reflect, which is a little scary, but he'll be fine if he chooses to go there.
He
But
also-
it still would be fast.
The odds are still with him that he won't actually have to go all the way to like the Zaldin boss fight. He'll probably just have to do like a couple fights with Dragoons, and he's got Magnera, so he'll be able to be safe in that, and he's got plenty of other tools. So
Yeah, it's possible he might not have to go to Zaldin, but
Yeah.
it's still possible, but he still has enough strength and whatnot.
another report there that tells us that 100 Acre Wood has 3 important things in it. He's only found one of them.
Sonic
so,
with the foresight, maybe?
yeah, so another torn page is pretty much going to mean instantly go to 100 Acre Wood and check Spooky Cave. Most of the checks in 100 Acre Wood are on the last 2 torn pages, unfortunately. So it's pretty high value to like go there as soon as you have access if you've already done the earlier mini games.
Something we didn't mention about 100 Acre Woods or even drives is with the hint logic I mentioned earlier, if 100 Acre Woods has a proof in it, all the torn pages have to be in hinted worlds. So right now you look at Beast
there are
Castle.
a lot of blue worlds. Yeah.
Well, like Beast Castle, for example, we had a torn page there. It's a hinted world. Pride Lands, we got a torn page there. It's a hinted world, and same with levels. So it's not to say it's guaranteed it's there, but
Yeah.
you have to think the second you get the next report, you're like, well, it meets the requirements so far.
Yeah,
So far, 3 out of 5 torn pages are hinted.
that's true. That's true.
And,
Very,
but there's still 4, and 100 Acre Woods itself has to be hinted, of course. I know hint logic is it's really complicated to get the hang of. People still get confused whenever others explain it
Yeah.
all the time.
I'm
It takes a
honestly-
little while to get it.
I've been playing without hints so much because of the co-op tournaments that it's like I haven't had to think about all the developments they've made in the hinted logic and stuff. It gets really Yeah, really complicated to think about. It's really unfortunate he never found Master Form either, because Dry Forms could still have stuff on them, and this is a nice place to get some free Master Form levels. But
that is like worst case scenario in a way. Is like, let's say the final Torn page gets us like a form, and then a level 7 form has the last proof. That's what extends runtime a lot, is when those, and they happen more than you would think. So that's a fear that Sonic probably is thinking about in his head right now.
yeah, just in case it happens.
And he basically just thunder spammed Hydra to death because he's strong enough to do so.
Yeah. And he didn't even, like, he could have dipped out even before doing the Pete fight or this one, because he doesn't have a hint for Olympus Coliseum yet. He's found 3 important things. That's, you know, pretty average-ish, I would say, maybe even above average for Olympus Coliseum. So he could have potentially left, but he decided to just finish off that visit. When you beat bosses, you also, beating bosses gives you certain benefits that actually are, they're randomized, but they're not the main pool of being randomized. And what that means is basically the way that you get health increases, maximum MP increases, item slots, accessory slots, stuff like that. Those are based on beating bosses and some other special fights. So finishing off those 2 fights, it might help him out in that regard as well.
Yeah, the bonuses are always nice, and these fights are going to be really quick with his setup. So it's good that he didn't decide to put it off just because they're boss fights.
Probably
that's a
dead,
mistake
like,
that
here?
happens a lot. Yeah.
now
Sometimes you got to
it's-
think I can clear this fast for guaranteed important checks. That's the way you got to think this late in the run.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
about how fast can you get guaranteed important checks.
So decent odds that we get an important check here, I'd say. There's not too, the second visit of most worlds actually doesn't have that many checks in it. Only a few of them actually have a lot. That's why you tend to see a lot of priority around the first visits of worlds, of many different worlds, before the second visits of any individual world. So there really aren't that many places for the last 2 important things to be found here. Looks like one of them was here. It's Thunder. Not what he wanted to see right now. Like, Thunder's nice, don't get me wrong, but at this point, he really just needs proofs.
Well, it's a pretty fair chance it's not Zaldin, but it'll be interesting to see if it is Zaldin, if Sonic will just go for it. Because, I mean, he does have reaction boost. He does have guard.
Yeah.
He could do final form, too. It's just, like, he has the tools to make it a pretty fast fight.
Could do it. It's still
with his
always a
stats.
little scary without Reflect, though.
A little bit. The thing, the Sonic's level of skill, though, he knows all the backups, I'm sure, for everything. So I'm sure he's comfy.
Basically, he just is going to rush to this story progress point, which is going to have a check on it. This could be it. And I don't remember if you get one for the Dragoon fight before Zaldin. I don't think you do.
No, it's
So it's just the
right
Rumbling
here
Rose
where
here.
it will know if it's Zaldin or not.
And it's not. Okay, so he knows that Dry Forms have 3 important checks on them.
Ooh.
And that was a hinted thing as well. Wow, the blue numbers are not helping him in this seed, really.
At this point, yeah, it definitely can be misleading. It's just something to
Yeah.
keep in the back of your head because now there's so many, blue important checks. It makes no sense to just like immediately prioritize that. Like I'm still looking at 100 Acre Woods being like, it's probably there, even though it's not revealed yet.
Yeah, so this is interesting. He's following the one in Halloween Town, as opposed to like Port Royal still remains virtually untouched. But I guess now he's just wants to kind of finish off a lot of these. And actually, too, like if it's on Drive Forms, he still has to find like 2 of the Drive
Yeah.
Forms. So even checking these other things could still lead him, even if they don't lead him to proofs, they could lead him to Drive Forms, which that's like a really big deal.
I don't think unhinted like Port Royal a little bit at least would be that bad either, because like we're
Yeah.
still missing a lot of important checks, even with what we can see is still there. Like you can actually count like
There's
drives
23.
as 2 or 3 rather, levels as 2. Just add it all up, add it to what you have currently, the 27, and then be like, okay, how many are left? Because
That aren't hinted
they're
yet,
everywhere
yeah.
else basically.
Yeah, and there's enough worlds unhinted and enough checks still left that, yeah, I think there's still a bunch unhinted, so Port Royal's potential, but You decided to come Halloween Town, follow the hints first.
He is clearing this though, because it's like this is a fast fight, and Oogie, of course, in Rando is pretty laughable, so
Yeah,
it makes sense.
we'll lead into that because he's probably going to do that next, unless he gets the important. Well, he didn't get it there. So the Oogie Boogie fight normally is a guaranteed 3-cycle fight minimum when you're playing it as a casual player or as a speedrunner. Even there's only so much you can do to speed up that fight, and for the most part, it's just a script that you follow and just react to some randomness, and it's long and slow and boring, and everybody hates it. So the randomizer actually lowers its I don't remember if it lowers Oogie's health or just removes like the gates on him. That basically makes it a 1 cycle. So Sonic's just gonna have to play the little conveyor belt mini game here for a little while, and once he knocks Oogie down by knocking all the presents up onto the platform he's sitting on, then he'll be able to kill Oogie guaranteed.
Yeah, and this fight's just significantly easier in general without doing the other 2 cycles where you have to deal with random enemies popping up, and if you don't have tools, then it gets really scary. Like you would have to switch lanes to be safe a lot, and it's nice that it's skippable. I don't think many people, if any, really care that Oogie is done this fast.
The other thing is just that like I was talking about before, a lot of the second visits do not have very many places for randomized items to be. So anytime that the randomizer devs, and mostly Sonic, could make one of those places a little bit higher value, it was generally seen as a pretty good thing, because that just makes second visits occur more often, which adds more diversity, and so it's more interesting. He did get the torn page from the Oogie fight, and that means we're going straight to Spooky Cave, and I think this is absolutely the play.
Yeah, definitely smart, because I mean, it still could be on Starry Hill, but that was, it's good that he got that torn page just from happening to do Halloween Town. So first he's going to grab all the chests first before actually doing the mini game, because, you could get both important checks left here, the last 2, before even finishing this mini game.
Hey,
there's one already. Yep.
So
finally a reflect. So really unfortunate place for one of the reflects to be an ultimate weapon.
Yeah.
Which is, may or may not be good.
We're doing the mini game. All right. So,
all right. Yeah. I mean, there's still, what is there, 2 checks after this mini game?
Yeah. You get 8
there's still
total.
2 more chances that we won't have to go to get the final torn page.
Oh, he's got so much growth. He gets to skip over the B triggers.
B's, yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. I never knew exactly like where these were, so I don't generally bother skipping them myself, but it's nice to see so much growth. Get to skip over those and make this mini game a lot faster, since he doesn't have to actually fight them with Magnera. And now talk to Pooh, and he'll get access to 2 more checks. Let's see. Are we going to Starry Hill potentially later?
Oh
Potentially.
boy. Yeah, potentially. I mean, the good news is that Starry Hill is, if he does get that torn page, it's really fast. There's 2 chests and a really fast mini game, so it would be no problem to clear. But depending if it is in the last item there is the proof, you have to think.
Yeah, it's what, like 4 checks?
Where's that last torn page? Yeah.
All right, and Sonic at this point, I think has made it clear with his movements. He's following these hints. He's gonna follow these hints and say, like, he's just gonna ignore Port Royal until he finds a hit for it or something.
It could work against you, but it also could, he only has 2. He still only has 1 proof, which, like I said, is pretty unlucky for this far in the run. But
I think
it happens.
On average, following hints tends to do better than not following hints. It's always a judgment call of whether you mix it up. Sonic wants to not show anybody what's happening here, show how easy this is once you kind of know the strat. So the idea is you basically use a magnet on the hyenas there. They'll all spread out, and then they'll attack you at the same time. And if you just reflect them, then you can just repeat, because they'll just attack you again at the same time, and you can just do that over and over until they die.
Yeah, Scar is a little bit more challenging, but at his level, he really shouldn't have an issue. So he's probably just gonna... he's going to reflect and probably symbol limit or something to maybe even get a DM skip. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll be honest, since this fight is only in like much higher completion speedruns of this game, I have no idea how to do this properly besides just use reflect and symbol limit a bunch. So Sonic does, and that meant that he was willing to come here a little bit earlier. but I'm definitely one of those people. I just put off Pride Lands past the first visit, like as long as I possibly can.
A lot of people do. I don't really like doing Scar Ground Shaker either, but if you know what you're doing, they're still pretty fast. Yeah.
So what we're seeing right now, I think this is literally the first instance of this that we have seen so far in this game. This is a desperation move. Basically, Scar turned invulnerable and started dancing around the arena, doing a very powerful attack. And basically, we call those desperation moves or DMs. A lot of the actual vanilla speedrun is based around getting DM skips. And Rando, you want to try to do that as much as you can too, because it's fast, but sometimes you're not going to be able to with the tools that you're given. And it's not there, so Ground Shaker is on the table if he wants to do that later.
He's not pushing it.
Yeah,
I
we'll
mean,
duality first.
it does make sense. There's more checks faster here,
Of course.
even though the overall length of the world would be longer to complete than going to Ground Shaker. But
Yeah.
he could handle Ground Shaker if he had to. It's just a little bit more of a time investment for movement because you have to go run around all over the place.
You got to fight one of the hyenas, and then
Yeah, and these fights are going to be pretty fast with Magnet Spam really takes out everything pretty well here at this level.
yeah, it is still shocking having only one proof out of all the places he's checked. And I wonder if that's one of the reasons he's kind of following hints more, is like, listen, even if they're not both hinted yet, at least one of them's got to be, right? That could be some of the reasoning.
And he finally got, one of the drive levels after all this drive leveling, so that's a little unfortunate that they're so late in levels. Well,
Yeah.
there still could be on the other two forms he's missing as well. And I do believe he has an auto ability for at least maybe Master or even Valor. I haven't really
I
paid
don't-
that much attention to that, but
don't
that's
know
food
about
for thought.
Yeah, I don't know about that. He definitely had an auto final, and I saw him get I think another auto potentially. So he might have an auto Valor or an auto Master. I don't remember seeing it though. But yeah, these fights are
think
basically
if anything,
just
I think it
gonna
was
be
auto. Yeah, so Reflect and Magnets will
yeah,
whatever, just wrecks everything. He can basically do whatever he wants.
yeah. There are two chests in that room that I guess Sonic is just deciding to do on the other one, or get afterwards if he's just pretty much assuming he's gonna have to go up the mountain climb. Okay, yeah, he's gonna get him now. All right, yeah, so he's gonna have to go further up the mountain. Everything's still gonna be pretty fast in terms of how quickly things die for him. And the mountain climb is where he can finally start getting more checks per minute.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 4 chests or something there, and then another check or 2 when you get past the wall.
And then he's gonna definitely probably just do cave fight. He might even do the 1 minute fight because I just don't know if he can. I don't know. He probably has the setup for it. I just am not very familiar with doing it without Master Form.
I don't know if he can get high enough with Final Form and 1 aerial dodge right now, even if it's like level 3 or 4.
And honestly, I don't even know if he has a drive recovery. I haven't noticed that. But either way, he's at least gonna. Okay,
I think
he
he
might.
does.
Yeah, at least he's gonna definitely probably do cave fight to get the other 2 chests at the top of the summit. But doing the 1 minute fight, you're only gonna do that if you're gonna go farther to the early throne room.
Actually, he might not have a drive recovery. I might be mixing.
I'm
up.
not sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's certain things I just didn't really make a note of. But
he got-
Sonic, I'm sure noticed.
Yeah, he's got slap shot. He got that in the mountain climb, which because he has combo master can be kind of nice. But
Yeah, he picked up Flash Step a while ago too. That was
there's
Stitch.
Stitch. Okay,
Well,
Stitch is nice,
oh,
but I thought he was gonna not bother with the cave fight now.
me too. Unless Limit Form's not maxed.
Yeah, I was gonna
or
say
he just
maybe
forgot. I don't
maybe
know.
Limit's not
I
level
forgot.
5. You
Oh, he
forgot?
forgot,
Oh, okay.
That's fair. It happens.
Yeah. And it's not like this is gonna take very long. He'll just magnet spam it. Like,
yeah. This is really fast with this level.
yeah, there we go. Now it also lets him show off the magnet into finishing leap combo that we were talking about before. This seed hasn't really needed it, but in a seed that is more based around strength than magic, and where maybe your tools are a little more limited as well, magnet with a finishing plus to allow you to use finishing leap right after it is actually really powerful, and it can deal a lot of damage and mob fights really quickly. Okay, so it looked like auto wisdom and auto final, so unfortunately,
Yeah,
not do
that's
the
not
others.
gonna help.
yeah.
So those are definitely 2 big forms Sonic is kind of desperately searching for, I can tell, because, you know, it is possible that Proof is on a high level form. So right now, even though Final's still on the bottom, he actually forced it, so it hasn't tracked yet, because we haven't found actual Final form location yet. So he actually is only missing 2 forms.
Did one of those Keyblades not have a thing on it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, he has.
Oh, he's got the
Struggle
struggle
Bat.
sword.
Yeah, he changed that recently.
I did
It threw
not
me off
realize.
when I saw it,
Okay.
yeah.
Second chance.
Yeah, so
was on
second
Keyblade,
chance.
all right. Yeah.
Whenever it's on a Keyblade, we just throw it in the little garden, what we call the garden slot, I guess.
Yeah, the second chance and once more are the only 2 things that can be hinted on Keyblades. And the only 2 important checks that can be on Keyblades. Oh, we did
He
have
does have
Automaster.
Automaster.
My
Yeah,
bad.
I thought I saw it pop up somewhere. So he
Did
actually could, and it looks like he's opting to EXP grind here, because
Yeah.
there's still 2 more things on levels, so he's definitely taking advantage of that. Second chance being on a Keyblade does kind of suck, because it means if you want to utilize it, you have to equip it, and it might not have good stats, or it might not have one of the other abilities your Keyblades have that you would rather utilize. So it does suck seeing sometimes good abilities locked on a Keyblade
Yeah.
that normally aren't.
So the seed has been kind of rude to Sonic, but it's also been like the perfect seed for GDQ. Like
It's definitely easy to talk about why this is like all the stuff going on. If it was like a 1 hour seed, you know, we
yeah,
would have been
well,
able to
and on top of
explain
that,
a lot.
you get to see so many different strategies because of this. So he's doing EXP grinding in Space Paranoids here. The idea being that Stitch, if he does exactly what he just did there, go over and lick the UI, he will refill your MP to full. If he does that a lot, then you could just magnet or thunder spam, or, you know, there's a lot of tools, a lot of ways you can kill these enemies very quickly. And you can get a lot of experience because, remember, since he's less than half health, he is getting 3 times experience with those abilities that he equipped earlier.
So I want to note that this is a league settings seed, so the max level that can have an important check is level 50. He's already, I think that was level 38, 39 or
39.
something.
Yeah.
And he still has 2 more important
Yeah.
checks on levels, so it's possible it
And-
could be, I forget if Sword is level 50 or 48 or something like that. But
And
It's up
not
there.
every level gives you a check. It's only specific
Yeah.
ones. So yeah, it could be as far as literally level 50. There's one of them.
there's one, yeah. Okay.
Port Royal has 6. We're
Oh
justified.
my god.
That is a big check right there.
That's a lot of important checks for Port Royal. I would say
Yes.
6 is a lot. It's more than
That's
average.
absolutely where he's gonna go next. Biz and I, like high five. We're totally justified in all of our.
Unless the proof is all the way on like near the end, then that would make, you know.
It wouldn't have mattered. Yeah.
This is a seed where, like, if someone decided to push unhinted Port Royal earlier and the proof is there, then yeah, they could win. But he still only
Really
has
gotten lucky.
1 proof, so unless both proofs are there, which is possible.
It is. I mean, it's his second highest hinted number out of the whole
Well,
thing.
yeah,
so.
now it's a no-brainer. Like, there's,
Yeah.
I mean, unless he throws a curveball at us, I
Yeah,
would
he'll-
100% rush down Port Royal. He's of course going to grab these next 4
chests.
checks for
Yeah.
free.
Yeah,
Because you never know. You know?
Yeah, 4 chests. This place still doesn't have hint associated with it, so it could have something. It could be dead.
On your way out, you know, you might as well grab the chest.
Yeah, there could be nothing here at all, which is what we call like a heartless world or a dead world. It just means that there were no important checks there.
Yeah, the hints call it a heartless choice or whatever. Funny name choice or naming convention for it, I guess. So he didn't scoop up anything nice on the way out here, but he got the levels that gave him that important info, and that's a really late level to get that
Yeah, it
critical
is.
info. So anyone who would have just jumped into Port Royal sooner would have scooped up a lot more important checks, because we don't know how deep these are, but Valor, Master Form, the proofs, Reflect, Torn Page.
I can't wait for every single one of these to not be approved. Like, I'm
It
not
is
gonna
possible,
lie. I
yeah.
kind of want that to happen. I think it would be hilarious.
It's definitely possible, yeah.
'Cause then Sonic could just be like, "Told you so." Like, shouldn't have
He
come
just
here.
knew. But he has definitely more than enough utility to make these pretty fast fights. His magic, I believe, will easily one-shot the pirates. He has Thundara with a Shock Charge Plus. He has Blizzara. He probably has Blizzard Boost on too.
He has double Blizzard Boost, actually.
Double Blizzard, yeah. So
Yeah.
either way, I think they're getting one-shotted.
Yeah.
Doing Port Royal too early is obviously a mistake. Although some people do this segment earlier than the rest of the world, because you have like this mob fight and the one you just saw, which is generally easy to clear even with low level magic, and then you have like a simple like little boat fight and you grab a bunch of chests. So
Also, the one that he just completed, you can actually die to both phases of that, and it progresses. So you don't even have to be able to clear the pirates. You actually don't have to be able to fight a single pirate in order to get up to just before the timed fight, the 1 minute fight. There's our
there's
first
one.
important. Auto Valor is
Auto
also
Valor, that's big, yeah. that's
especially
big.
with a second chance Keyblade. That means that that now Sonic can level. So what the auto things do? We didn't really talk about it. The auto abilities, Auto Valor, Auto Master, Auto Wisdom, etc. What those do in the normal game is they make it so that if you get really low health and you have the enough drive and like the right party members to be able to go into that drive form, it will put up a little triangle prompt and let you press triangle to go into that drive form instead of having to menu it naturally. And in Rando, it actually will give you access to those drive forms even if you don't have them, like even if you have not found them yet. And that is incredibly valuable because it means that you can level them before you even find them, and you could start getting the checks on them before you even find them. And that's really huge, especially when you know that there's still 2 more things on drive forms.
I guarantee you if Sonic found Auto Valor much sooner, he definitely would utilize it.
100%. Is he gonna
Also
try?
nice.
He's gonna experience this. Yeah. there's not even like he's not even gonna get a ton of experience for it at this point.
Yeah, I mean it's
But
because
why
of the
not?
multiplier. It's still kind of generally worth it. It's just on.
Oh no, he's gonna
I
auto
saw-
valor. Oh okay, makes more sense.
Oh yeah, that's actually smarter.
yeah, that's way smarter.
And he has no risk of, well, I shouldn't say no risk, but he has less
Little
likely
risk.
chance of dying here because of his level. Because I was going to say that's the downside of triggering these abilities now is that you're so strong that you have to go to like a late game world to do it fast.
Yeah, the other thing is that in Port Royal, the kind of gimmick here is that the pirates are invulnerable when they're not in Moonlight, and they are specifically more vulnerable to magic than physical hits. But Valor doesn't actually care if you're dealing damage with the hits or not. So this is really nice for him to be able to level. He doesn't need to get out of here and heal that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Or, oh,
Okay. Yeah,
oh,
that's
big brain. Okay.
Yeah, that's very big brain. Wow.
That was great. Get low enough to revert and then auto Valor again, so that way he can keep leveling it. This is cool.
He's getting, yeah.
This isn't even like, this is a cool strategy that is so niche. Like this would not show up in most seeds because by the, like you would need to be such high like level to be able to tank these hits.
It's probably Master Form that has the last important check. He already has this at like
Right.
level 4.
I'm guessing Master 2. There's still 2 important checks actually on this, so
Yeah, and he does.
drives.
He did have Auto Master, so he really could level it. Yeah,
does he have a drive
Somewhere.
converter? Yeah, I mean, worst case he could just go to core. Like,
yeah, that's what that was I was thinking. But if he did have a drive converter, if he doesn't have once more, but he could still
His second
make it
chance.
work in the mansion. So he has the options.
yeah, he's got
But
enough.
obviously, this is the hottest spot right now. So yeah, he's here to try to get these 6 important checks. Port Royal with this setup is definitely still pretty fast to clear, like even the second visit, except for Grim Reaper 2. So his hope is that he'll get those 6 important checks before Grim Reaper 2,
Yeah.
which is pretty likely still.
Especially because one of the like the main speedrun strat for Grim Reaper 2 uses Master Form. He wouldn't necessarily have to for this. He could still get through it. But he doesn't have Master Form. It would be nice to be able to actually do the strat if he wants to. So he's using Stitch here. The other, like Stitch actually does a lot of stuff. I mentioned before how it refills your MP, which is generally what you want him to do like all the time in a speedrun or in a rando. But the other things he can do is he'll actually heal you very slowly over time, and he'll block a lot of attacks. Not every attack. Some attacks like can actually hit you while you have Stitch out, but he will block a lot of attacks. So it's both good for safety and for MP refilling, which is often good for damage. He can also do other things on top of that, but those are like the two big factors for Stitch.
Yeah, he's definitely considered essentially in a way broken.
Yeah, he's the best summon. Like Chicken Little is also a really good summon, but it's like S tier versus A tier for Stitch and Chicken Little. And then the rest are like, okay, maybe C tier or something.
Stitch
like
is,
still
yeah.
work, but
Chicken Little's a god summon for like mobs, but Stitch is just all around good if you have other utility to control mobs, because Stitch doesn't necessarily, do anything to control mobs.
not on his own. Yeah, you
Not
gotta
on his
have
own, yeah.
that magnet or something else. So we
He'll
got
just keep you a little
Thunder
safe.
and Valor form now. One of the things is there's a weird quirk, so Sonic will have to put Valor on his tracker himself. There's the other Reflect. We have still not seen a proof here, and there's now only one important check here that remaining, and it's either
Yep.
on Barbosa or in the second visit, which oftentimes when you come to Port Royal in a rando, you'll be prepared to just go all the way to the second visit, because
Yeah.
there's like one fight and then the easiest boss fight in the game are like the two things you need to do in order to get all the chests, and then Grim Reaper 2 is just left there, and you just hope it doesn't have anything on it.
And as
we'll
you can see, Barbosa gets wrecked by magic, just like the regular pirates. You can juggle him with thunders, you can keep him frozen with Blizzard forever. So you have two different easy options to close out the fight in rando, even if you're under leveled pretty heavily or under
Yeah.
utilization.
And even if like your strength is higher or you need to save on ethers or something, you just Blizzard him and then you do a physical combos until he breaks out and then you Blizzard him again. There's a lot of, as long as you got pretty much one piece of magic between Blizzard and Thunder, you can do Barbosa.
And I'm not surprised he came back here, because like you said, you have a fight where he has the tools to make it fast anyway. He'll just clean up and get this. Well, he'll have the answer of whether or not it's Grim Reaper 2, and without actually having Master Form, I don't know if he would commit to Grim Reaper 2
Yeah.
right now. It would be, he has Stitch.
I think
stuff
probably
like
not.
that.
He also just got Valor form, so he could just like go level Valor while doing like Agrabah,
Yeah.
Agrabah or somewhere else. So, or even Space Paranoids if he wanted to push that further. So like I doubt he'll do Grim Reaper 2 if that's what it happens to be on, but there's a lot of checks before then, so the odds are with him right now. He has to get through this fight, which I was referring to as the easiest boss fight in the world. He's actually going to make it look a little less easy than it normally is, because he's going to level Valor while doing it. But normally, if you want to just get through this in a simple manner, you just spam Blizzard or Thunder on this boss until it is dead. It will not attack you. It will not retaliate. You just spam it until it dies.
I want to point out that this run would be driving me crazy, because remember how I mentioned about the torn pages all being hinted so far? You have all the drive forms so far hinted so far, and we're missing 2 proofs. So in my mind, I'd be like, I gotta go finish 100 Acre Woods. I gotta level all drives. Those
Yeah.
are in my mind right now, and I'm sure Sonic's thinking about it because he's leveling Valor on Grim Reaper 1, which you don't usually see.
Normally, he probably would have just popped into final and just Blizzard shotgunned
Yeah.
the boss to death.
Yeah, he could have done that fight in like 10 seconds probably,
Yeah.
but obviously he wants to level.
Here are all the chests. So there was 1 in that back room, there's 3 in this room, and there are 3 in the next room. None so far. There's 3 in this room, and he gets 2 pop-ups, I believe, from beating 1 Heartless or 1 Nobody in this room. So the odds are still with him, but he has not found it yet. Still has not found it. The odds are getting scarier.
Oh,
It's now
no,
at
don't do this.
33%. If I
Don't-
remember
don't make
correctly, and
him
there's
do
2
Grim
pop-ups
Reaper
here.
2.
He one-shot that. That's how strong he is right now. Okay, he got it. It's a
Okay.
Master Form.
That's big. Yes, that's big. So
Yeah.
now he has access to all forms. So if it is on a level 7 form, he'll have no problem getting it.
And he still
So,
never
Port
actually
Royal paid off.
found final form proper. He forced it.
Yeah.
Wonderful
Light and
Keyblade.
Darkness. Light and Darkness is an ability that allows you to force final form very quickly, but he already has final form, so
Unfortunate to get that late, but he got pretty lucky overall anyway, so
Yeah.
it didn't really matter much.
So now it's kind of a toss-up. So Sonic could either just go level up the drive forms in some really efficient places and not worry about
Looks like what he's doing.
not worry about progressing other worlds while doing it, The other option would be to go start progressing other worlds, and he might even do a mix. Like he's probably gonna do Master Form first because that is the lowest level right now, which means it has the most checks on just that single drive form. He has
And
drive
it's the
converters.
fastest to level too, which is
Yes.
also one of the other reasons. But it is also
Oh,
since it's
that
the lowest.
jackpot, if he wants to leave, that actually helps
Yeah,
him.
yeah, he's smart. Yeah,
Yeah, that's funny.
double jackpot dice.
Yeah, I love seeing jackpots. I wish, I don't know if your party member jackpots apply while you're in Master Form. I assume they don't.
They
but
shouldn't. Yeah, it's the same thing with limit form or
yeah,
something like
it'd be
that.
nice.
Or no summons. I mean, yeah.
Explosion.
Ooh.
That's really
A little
nice.
late,
Yeah.
but you know, take what you can get.
And the reason he is doing this is Master Form levels up by collecting the drive orbs, and he can get it all the way to level 7 now. I fully expect him to do that.
I
There's
still
level
can't
6.
believe there wasn't a proof in a 6 important check Port Royal.
I know, right? I love it. Hey, at least it had the drive forms. Like that's
Yeah, the Master was worth it alone.
yeah. And it had Master and Valor.
And now he can, well, oh wait, never mind. I was gonna say early throw to him, but that world's cleared now. I forgot he
Yeah.
got that. He's just trying to fit. This is the easiest form to level up. So much so that the league settings set it to be a lower multiplier than all the other forms.
Yeah.
So it's ×2 instead of ×3, or Valor's
think it's-
×5.
Isn't it ×3 on that?
Not for Master Form. For
No,
league
it's two.
settings, it's
Okay.
for some reason a little less. But it's so fast to level that, yeah, there's
Oh,
Magnet.
Magnet.
Okay.
Not what he wanted to see, to be honest. He at this point, he's got tools. So all he wants is proofs. And
Yeah.
now there's only one more important check on drive forms, and he has every drive form, and they can go all the way up to 7 each. And you know, as is
Yep.
the case with leveling up anything in a video game, it scales much higher for the later levels. So
Yeah,
it's
he's going
a
to
little
2 for
scary.
1 this as well, where he's going to do
Yeah,
Sora's levels
sense.
to try to get that less important check and final form levels, which is smart, obviously. So he's just thinking about clearing the important checks as fast as he can.
Yep.
And this is smart, you know.
He needs to get it
doing
twice.
this
I
right
figured
now.
he might have to. There we go.
Yeah, he's too strong right now. I mean, he has armor on unless he took it off.
No, he
so
took
that-
it off. That was
Oh, he
with it
took it-
off.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a beefy defense stat, I guess.
I mean, for level 44,
Ooh, okay.
it's not really. Okay, Chicken Little, he's got baseball charm.
So now he could actually ignore EXP boosting, because like he's
Yeah.
not going to get much really of a benefit at this point from leveling up. I mean, at this point he'll
Yeah.
keep doing this round, but I would assume he's probably not going to EXP boost anymore. He'll just keep leveling final.
Yeah, honestly, he might get to 46 on this, which would be another check anyways. Like,
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
At
just
this
on
point,
this
I don't know what
round.
kind of utility. Like maybe slide dash. I don't know if he has slide dash. I know he's flash step.
yeah, or like
Magna
Magna Burst
Burst, yeah.
or something. But I mean,
Something
like
silly.
we said, Sonic does not need a ton of tools to beat the game because he's a good player in the first place. On top of that, he really doesn't need more than what he has because he's got a good number of tools. I didn't quite see how high that final level got to. He is going to go right back in though, so he's probably just going to keep doing it.
Yeah, it's like the thing about final is that it's already an atrocious form to level. So even though it's ×3 multiplier for the EXP on it, it is still pretty slow to level. But it still makes sense that he's doing it first.
Yeah, it's also the most useful of the drive forms. Like you could debate about limit form being maybe even more useful, but they're both really useful is the point. So you might as well level the useful ones first, if all things are otherwise equal.
Yeah.
Berserk
Wow,
charge.
the second Berserk charge is
yeah.
on level 6 final. So only one more level to go, which has the most EXP, but he's clear. He's doing the efficient method to leveling up final, which is just
Yeah.
rushing through the mansion. He has Faraga, which is really useful. Like if you only had base fire here, it'd be a little bit more annoying, but Faraga is really strong in final form to just shred everything.
The nice thing is too, the rest of the forms he can level while making progress on other worlds. So if he wants to level limit form, he can go to Hollow Bastion 2 and do that, start working through there, which he can also level wisdom form there. So I actually would probably expect that to be the next move, unless he wants to like follow a hint. So he could go push Hollow Bastion 2, level wisdom form, and then level limit form in the 1000 Heartless fight if he needs to.
And he still has treasure room.
and
Yeah,
treasure
so,
room is
you know.
another good wisdom and valor place. Yeah.
And both, Hollow Bastion and Agrabah are unhinted, and they don't have reports, so right now they don't need to be hinted at the moment, or drives, or storm pages, or anything like that. So, there's nothing to say one's better over the other in terms of getting you approved
Yeah.
faster.
I feel like
I would say
I would do Hollow
HB.
Bastion. Yeah.
Yeah, just because HB on average probably like 5 important checks or something, only having 2 leads me to believe there's more there.
Yeah, the average is 6 for
6,
for
yeah.
Hollow Bastion. Hollow Bastion and Twilight Town are like both 6 on average, I think, and that's why I happen to remember those two. So they're kind of a big deal to not have that many in them yet. All right, there's level 7 with nothing on it, so Sonic's almost certainly going to leave now.
Yep,
mean,
so he
technically-
might move to the next form.
Yeah, technically Valor Form you could level anywhere, so if you wanted to, you could do it here, but you might as well be making progress in another world. And it does look like Hollow Bastion is indeed that world.
Yeah, I would say for Valor Form, you'd probably do like Treasure Room or something.
I
But
agree.
right now, this makes sense. He'll get Wisdom leveled up.
He also never
maybe
did.
some Limit Form.
He also doesn't have a hint for Disney Castle, and like he could theoretically go do Boat Pete with Valor
Timeless,
Form
yeah.
and stuff like that. So
That is always a play late in this run. That was one of the qualifier seeds had a proof on the final Pete fight, and not everybody, but like one person cleared it like at least over a half hour more than like 50 other people.
right, yeah,
The person who got first, just because they decided to go to Timeless like really early.
yeah, Timeless River is a hard one to justify super early, just because it doesn't have a lot of checks in it after the opening play that we saw at the beginning of this seed. Sonic's doing a really cool strategy with Trinity Limit here. This is actually what you do in the normal speedrun for this game, which is once the clones get to a low enough amount, you use a couple of the Trinity form hits there in order to wipe out the rest of them, and then you go into Demix. Now, the final form portion is not available in a regular speedrun, and final form Faraga is a cheese strategy in a way that can melt a lot of the bosses in this game and a lot of the super bosses, so it's really good.
Especially when it's in Faraga too. Like, it's just crazy damage.
Yeah, now normally beating that fight would put you straight into this next fight, but Sonic was actually able to add that little, like, just spawning you back in that room back there, which is great for 2 reasons. The first being, this is a notoriously hard section of the video game. It's really easy to die on the Final Fantasy fights, and in the regular game, that means you have to go all the way back to before Demix and fight him again. And Demix is not an easy fight himself. So that sucks for new people and stuff trying to get into the randomizer. So having a checkpoint there means you don't have to fight Demix again. That's really nice. The second nice thing is it means that he can go into Wisdom form, or, well, theoretically any other form that's available to him, but he has Donald, so he'll go into Wisdom form. And there are a lot of Heartless fights right now, so Wisdom form is going to level up pretty easily. This should get him to level 7 by the end of this one, I think. Yeah, there it is.
And of course, this his last important check is really hiding. So he's got what, Valor and Limit.
Yeah, Valor and Limit. Unless there are 2 proofs in this Crystal Fissure, I think we're going to see him level Limit form in, or if he knows that this
Valor.
is dead. I think, well, he can't do Valor in the Thousand Heartless. I think he'll do Limit in Thousand Heartless if
Yeah, for sure. Especially with his, I don't think he has once more, so it might be a little risky
he's
to.
fine. He's got 28 defense.
Yeah,
There's slide
I'm just-
dash.
oh, no. Oh,
Hey, proof 1.
okay.
So
Now at this point, important check chasing is by far
yeah,
what you would need to do anyway. But
yeah, and this is both still checking the unhinted checks here, and it's getting you limit form proof
Yes.
checking. So like, or limit form just checking. So the nice thing about this coming here with higher defense, and I love doing this. This is like one of my favorite leveling strats in the game, honestly, is that limit form has the ability MP Rage on it, so that whenever you get hit, you get MP for getting hit. And especially if you already have an MP Rage on base Sora himself, you can amplify that effect. And because of that, he can use a lot of this Sonic Rave limit without having to ever use ethers for it. It's really nice. It helps out a lot with getting a lot of levels here. And then he could just pop a magnet and then get all his drive back. He's actually going into first person here because this is making the enemies get pulled into the magnet faster. And because his magic stat is so high, they're just dying the second they get in the magnet. Like, if he just wanted to complete this quickly, he would just magnet spam like that over and over. But he wants to level up the limit form for those checks.
Yeah, and I'm looking at that he has 2 more reports left, and one now has to be in Hollow Bastion. Due to the way hint logic works, there has to be a report that points now to tell us what's in Hollow Bastion. So,
Oh, you're saying
It's
one of them has to tell him about Hollow Bastion. It doesn't have to be in Hollow
like,
Bastion.
No, yeah, it could be anywhere, but there has to be one that points here. And it's always possible there's 2 proofs in one world. I remember, I've definitely lost before because of that being like, oh, why would Port Royal have 2 proofs? I just got one. And then the second one was like right after.
Have you gotten back-to-back proofs yet?
I think I've either gotten that or been really close to back to back, and that does happen.
I got back-to-backs on Roxas once. That was really funny.
Yeah, it's bound to happen eventually, and it's a little kind of like where you're like, really?
So another
But
thing
also,
I would like
yay.
to make note of is that the world that never was still needs to be hinted.
Oh. Yeah, it had a proof in it. That's a good point. The report that pointed to the world that never was still needs to be hinted, that is. So
Yeah, let me see.
that
which
was
one
report
was.
11. Or no, sorry, that was not report 11.
That was in
report
OC.
5 in OC.
So then OC has to be hinted.
Yeah, so there are 2 reports left, report 2 and report 13, that give us the hints if you're tuning in late. And the one of them, wow, it's not on Limit 7.
Oh man.
One of them has to point towards Olympus Coliseum, and the other has to point towards the world that never was, which means that
present.
Basically, I think that means Space Paranoids cannot have a proof, right? I think that's what that means. And Disney Castle cannot
Well,
have
he
a
just
proof?
got the OC report, so OC is done. Oh boy,
Okay. So
that's interesting.
I think this means that the last report has to point to Hollow Bastion. We know that. And since that means that there will be no reports pointing towards Space Paranoids or Disney Castle, that neither of those, or Agrabah for that matter,
It
none
has
of
to
those
point.
can have the proof.
Yeah, so there's no point to going to any of the unhinted worlds now, basically.
Okay.
And Sonic is going to definitely understand that.
You know what the best part about all of that means? We technically have a Sephiroth seed on the table.
Yeah.
It's unlikely, but it's possible.
Yeah, Sonic's definitely cleaning up here the stuff he can, because it's fast enough checks at this point with his movement where it's like, might as well.
Can you double negative combo Sephiroth? I think you can. Right? No,
I don't think so.
Dang.
Pretty sure
I've
you can.
actually never really bothered to try, because in the normal game you
Damn.
get Fenrir from him.
Man, that would be awesome.
I mean, this is why I like PC rando much more, is without delay, Sephiroth will be much more fun to fight.
Well, okay, yes, fair.
with input delay, he's
It's
a
hard.
nightmare to deal with.
But it looks like Sonic's going to go check the proof of peace check. So basically, the proof of peace unlocks the ability to get 2 checks from these mushrooms right here. There's also still that one chest at the end of Cavern of Remembrance
Yes,
that he could
that
not
is
get
the
before.
scary chest that until he gets a report, you just won't know.
Oh.
Oh
I thought I
no!
fixed this. Oh.
Oh no! The game
Oh, boy.
crashed. I had
Ah,
not.
fixed
I'd
this,
only
but
ever
that's
heard
fine.
about this one. Yeah, this was like ages ago, right?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
actually haven't seen
Well,
it
all right.
until I
Yeah,
heard about
what
it.
happened?
So I froze. And I've never
yeah.
made a save state, and I've never made a save. Oh.
Oh,
All right.
That's
All
unfortunate.
right, we're actually going to go to a quick break here. We'll be right back. Everyone, just stay tuned really quick while we sort some things out. But yeah, so if everyone can just stay tuned, we'll be right back after this break.
you did make a save, but I think it was at Roxas World.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game Masters. I'm just going to be very quick here because we had an unfortunate circumstance with Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer where we had the game basically just freeze on us. And unfortunately, Sonic was unable to finish the seed, but Hobbs has a theory on what happened at the end of the seed. Hobbs, what do you
Yep.
think happened?
So Richard's gonna let us know where the last proof was, and I had just a couple things that I thought would be the most funny way of it happening. So I think if the proof were on Starry Hill and the last torn page that Sonic still didn't have was either Valor 7 or on the last check in Cavern of Remembrance. I think either one of those would have been the path to maximum hilarity is kind of how I'm going.
All right, well, something that was very interesting about the last proof. So there was a hint that was remaining, right? That last hint was on Drive Forms, Valor level 7. Do you
Yeah,
want to
of
know what that
course.
last hint was, Hobbs?
Hollow Bastion was like a 4 or whatever.
Hollow Bastion has 6 important checks, and
6,
remember that
okay.
one check at the end of Core that we skipped because of like going out of bounds and stuff?
Please tell us.
That was the proof.
Okay, that was the proof.
That would have taken a while for Sonic to
Yeah.
get to, because that's
I
not
was
something you
thinking about that
prioritize.
cube. I was thinking about that cube because I was right there, but nothing was quicker.
I didn't. When I looked at the seed, I'm like, okay, yeah. I saw a bunch of movement early. I was like, okay, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get into Core, get that, and leave. I didn't know about the out of bounds. When Sonic was like,
Yeah.
we're gonna skip this one check, I'm like freaking out. Oh no, I didn't realize.
Sonic.
It just so happened to be like one of the worst possible
Yeah.
checks in the entire run.
I even said
Yeah.
it earlier. I said that would be probably one of the last checks. Here. Sonic, would
That
you or
might
would
be the
you?
worst one.
Yeah, would you or would you not have done Sephiroth before you got that check? Probably.
I probably would have done core first.
Okay,
all right.
okay. But that meant that it probably would have been like one of the very last
Yeah.
checks.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
we have something nice and quick to show everyone here as we close out Game Masters today. This has been a work in progress. The PC version came out this year, a couple months ago, or not even a couple months ago, and we're going to be just showcasing off the current progress of the PC version of Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer. Sonic has the full spoiler, knows where everything is for this seed, and Sonic is going to take it away right now. So feel free to give us a countdown.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Okay, so I'm assuming Sonic is doing it where he basically just looked at it very briefly right before, or is just looking at the spoiler now.
Yeah, I know I have it now.
So we have the spoiler as well.
Oh wait! Oh my
Oh
god!
no. What?
This is a.
Yeah, so he's just looking at. I haven't looked. Let's see where these proofs are. Okay, so what? So all 3 proofs,
Wait,
everybody,
$5
are on drive forms. 2 of them are on limit form.
Wait, did you pick sword, right? Please tell me you picked sword.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
One of them is on wisdom form, and it's the highest one is on limit level 6. So that means that Sonic needs every drive form except 1. So the next kind of question is where are the drive forms? So let's see. Limit form itself is on level up, and he'll get that at level 25. Is this cool? Me just kind of reading them out. I don't know if Sonic, if
yeah,
part of it
we're
is
going to
Sonic
try to
also.
finish
having
this
it.
as fast as
Okay,
possible.
this is turned into co-op. All
Yes,
right,
this
got
is
it.
co-op.
So limit form is on level 25. Let's see where Valor form is. Valor
Wait,
form.
we started with EXP boost.
Oh, started with the XP boost. Okay, that's nice. Valor form is in Beast Castle's West Hall, so that's an easy grab.
Alright.
Wisdom form is on
OC.
OC Orange Statue. Not great. Maybe we can skip that one. Master form is Heartless Manufactory of Hollow Bastion.
Yep.
Also not fantastic, but
Where's membership card?
membership card. Oh yeah, that's right. It could be better. Membership card is Sleeping Lion.
That's right there.
I like this rabbit hole already.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is Sleeping Lion like Bailey or is that later?
Right before you open the door for her.
Oh, perfect.
And
That's like
sorry.
the best thing. Okay. Let's see where Final Form is. Final Form is on Prison Keeper. Probably that's probably better than the OC one. And let's see. Am I forgetting a form? No, I looked up all the forms now. So the other big thing are like important tools he needs to beat the game, right? So reflects. There's one in the corridors. Hollow Bastion stacked.
By the way, I'm gonna post this spoiler in chat for anyone that wants to look along with this seed.
So one of the reflects is in the Hollow Bastion corridors. So yeah, that's pretty
Alright.
stacked. One is Space Paranoid's hallway. I think is that after screens?
Yeah.
I don't. Okay.
Yeah.
And one is Fragment Crossing in the World That Never Was. So you get one for free basically
First
on the
room
way
for
up.
Roxas.
Yeah. So you can easily get the one in Hall Bastion and the one there. You can just skip the Space Paranoids one entirely.
Yep.
Let's see. What else do you want? What actually? Yeah. Let's just turn this full co-op. What would help you, Sonic? What do you want to know?
Roll for no reason right now. With a have a quick run.
Oh, you want movement? Okay. Do you have the thing open too, Biz?
Yeah.
Okay, you wanna look up the
Glide is on
glides
level
all-
14. So
Alright,
you'll get
so I'm gonna
glide.
get back here a little bit.
Aerial dodge, Halloween Town Square.
Oh, Hades.
The rest
has
are all
one.
OC. The rest are all OC.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Atrium Room has another one. Yeah.
Yeah, I would get the Halloween Town Square one. The glides, he said one's on level. A second
14.
one is bad. The rest are bad. Port Royal,
Wow.
Grim Reaper one, and Moonlight Nook, and then Space Paranoid's Central Computer Core. So all bad.
Okay, you
Wow,
can get
right
one
for 10.
glide.
Yeah,
Dry
there's
form
a
has
7 dry form checks. 3 of them are the proofs. There's still 4
Yeah.
other things there too. All right, you want magnets?
Yep.
Okay. Limit level 5.
Wow.
Wow.
Port Royal in the Rampart. That so you can get that one
First
easy.
room. Yeah.
Central Computer Core has one too. Both the Central Computer Core. Like, is Central Computer Core right before Hostile Program? Am I remembering? Isn't
Nope.
it?
MCP.
No, it's
Yeah, that
MCP.
sounds like,
Okay.
yeah, that sounds like MCP.
Yeah. Okay.
Not
I was
viable, really.
I was hoping. So you can get the magnet from Limit and from Port Royal free.
Yeah.
Finishing Plus is probably a big one.
But I have
Oh, you have. You have it on key
Yeah.
later.
ability.
Oh, you got the ability one. Oh, Pride Lands. Yeah. Okay. I see. What else you want? Do more quick runs?
Where are the high jump, actually?
I jump. Okay. You will get a quick run from Bailey, by the way. So
Alright.
Level Up has, let's see, Sword level 15, so you'll get that with Glide. Olympus Passage. Don't go to STT for the other two. Please don't.
yeah, a quick run was there
Great.
too. What? Like, should we get you experience boost, or what do you want next?
Oh.
Like, because we could get you the second one.
Yeah, where's the other Yeti boost?
Okay, 1 second.
E-Blade Winner's Proof, wherever that comes from.
Winner's proof.
Where I just froze the game. From mushrooms. So I need proof of peace for that one. With proof of peace is on wisdom level 5.
Oh. Wow.
Winner's proof is Twilight Town. Cypher's trophy. So first visit, I think, right?
Alright.
Oh, wait, actually, Cypher's trophy.
I think that's the second.
Can't visit now.
Wait.
Yeah, second
That's
visit.
that
But if he's
visit.
gonna experience, if he needs to experience boost for love, well, it's ×5. You might be able to just not experience boost
Right.
this one.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's.
He only has to get
overkill.
to like 26 or something for the
Yeah.
for the form.
And he'll get a bunch in the next fight.
Yeah, I feel like just getting you a glide and aerial dodge, or
That
2
was
glides and an
great.
aerial dodge as quickly as possible, and then immediately booking Hollow Bastion seems
Okay,
pretty
Glide
good.
would be
Yeah.
level 14. Is that probably the fastest one?
Yeah, he's 3
Yeah, I
levels
think
away
he
from that.
might get
Yeah.
that in the next fight.
He
I'll
should.
get that in the next fight, yeah.
Yeah.
So then you'll have the high jump glide, I think.
And then the other glide, if you want to get a second glide, you have to
yeah.
go to Moonlight Nook, which is Moonlight Nook
Right
the one before
before
Barbosa?
Yeah.
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 So
Purple stuff.
it's not terrible, but it's not great.
I would
for-
just rock glide level 1 at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
We would lose all the time for movement saved by going that far.
Yeah. And then yeah, limit form was levels. Right, I believe.
Yeah, and then fly forms.
Oh, Promise Charm. We have that on.
Yeah, where's
Okay, so
Promise Charm?
Biz, you want to explain the Promise Charm while I'm looking at it?
That's Comet.
So anyway, Promise Charm is an item that exists in the game, but it was added into Rando to have a meaning. It's usually off in competitive situations, but when it's not, what it does is it allows you to go to the final boss fights as soon as you have all 3 proofs without clearing the final world. So if you're someone who's not very fluent with handling the world that never was with low tools, turning on Promise Charm will help you out a lot until you are more comfortable.
Yeah, it lets you skip Zigbar, Roxas, Psyx, all that good stuff, and just go straight to the end of the game. Promise Charm is in Tram Common, so you're going to TT1 no matter what.
Yeah.
Which means that other thing that I looked up in TT, the struggle
Where's
one.
Light? Yeah.
What did you want for like the final core fight, like Stitch or something, or what?
Second level.
He's not getting Stitch.
Okay, yeah, Chicken Little's. Oh wow, level 44. No, you're gonna
Wait,
have
no.
to deal.
No, you're looking at the wrong. Chicken Little's on Final 5.
Oh wait, you're right.
Yeah.
My bad. I brought up the last
Feathered.
one.
Oh, you brought up the last one. Okay, I thought maybe
Yeah,
you
my
looked at
bad.
Feather Charm or something. Yeah, final level 5, which final form again was Prison Keeper. So you could do that one potentially. Because you need to get to level. Yeah, you need the forms to get to 6 anyways.
Yeah.
This is exhilarating. I've never done like a spoiler run before, let alone be a co-op person for it. It's great.
Yeah.
What else? What you missing? Let's see.
Fire.
Sorry, fire.
Yeah,
okay.
fire.
Fire. Well,
You're not getting that far.
you're not getting that one. One's on Larkscene. Yeah, one's on Larkscene. Man, SP2 is stacked.
Okay, SP1 is Canyon, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you get a
It's like
fire
the second
there.
room.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's one in core.
We're in core.
Depths upper level.
So I need to do core set or do the first fight.
What canyon it is?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you only really need one fire.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, and you're
Or-
probably going TT3 regardless now, right? Unless you want to do
I know one of the final form first.
right.
Although final form is from Prison Keeper.
Yeah. I don't think you need to force it. Let's just get you the tools to beat Prison Keeper fast.
Yeah.
Because you could do Hall Bastion while you're waiting on all of that. What do you
Yeah.
need to beat Prison Keeper? You want like Trinity Limit or something, or it's like, well, you'll probably use Dance Call more than Trinity there though.
Where are the thunders at actually?
Thunders. We got one on final level 6. You got one in Pride Lands? Yeah.
Pride Lands.
And one is Twilight Town 3. Report
Okay.
10 though, isn't that like the Axel fight?
Report 10, right?
Yeah.
Wherever report 10
Yeah.
is
That's
where Thunder
right
is.
before the actual fight where you cut the beam.
Oh, that's touching the beam. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Nice scan and the Valor. We didn't even look up scan, so I'm glad you got that one.
Yep.
He doesn't need it.
Yeah,
Although
but
I'm
it's
gonna take this off. No ESP.
oh yeah. Yeah, we didn't bring it up last time when you found both of them, but no experience is an ability in the game that allows you to do level 1 runs. And yeah, pretty useless to find those, but when they're on a Keyblade, it sucks because you want to make sure you take off that Keyblade right away.
Although in a way, it's nice because that means a slot for a Keyblade is taken up by a useless ability for your
Yeah.
run.
Yeah, true. So you got one Thunder Boost from Pooh Bear's house, right? Because you went there.
Yeah.
There's another Thunder. No, the other one's on Spooky Cave. You got? Didn't you already get Shock Charm Plus as well, though?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, because that you started with it. Yep. All right, so you got double Thunder Boost at least.
Yep.
Once you get the Thunder from, or well, you have one. Yeah, and you can get the other one from Twilight Town, and you could even get the final level 6 one if you wanted, but you probably don't need to.
Where's Shadow Archive Plus actually? Or Content Arts?
Shadow Archive is on a level that is level 36, so
Level
you might.
30
You don't
for
need to get it.
Cosmic Art.
And wow,
Alright.
okay. Cosmic Arts, yeah.
Apparently, you
level
gotta
30.
level up. This is what this scene is
Yeah.
telling me.
Yeah.
Hey, he's got experience boost. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yep.
Need to be able to.
Where's the money pouch?
What?
Money
The money
pouch.
pouch.
Yeah, looking at money pouches.
already
we
got
started
one,
with
I think.
right? Yeah, we started with one actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big in the chest. Yeah, the other's in Port Royal Powder Store, which
Okay.
is
Well,
like
I'm not
before.
gonna get that.
Yeah, that's after
One
1
money
minute
pouch
fight.
is enough.
Yeah, you don't really need 2 of them anyways. Yeah, just the one. Let's see what else can help. It sucks that the movement is all really bad to get.
Yeah. I mean, it's at least he has a real dodge and glide. That's all you really, and it's a quick run,
Yeah.
of course.
I'm just trying to think of like the dream stuff you'd want to immediately get in a
Yeah.
like if someone could tell you.
No, yeah, no, it's terrible.
Oh, second chance once more. Make things extra easy. Let's see where those are.
Well, while Hobbs looks that up, I want to remind everyone to go follow our runner, Sonic Shadow Silver 2. I want to remind everyone, Sonic has been pushing for partner as well, so be sure to check him
Once
out.
more is Keyblade.
Okay, check that Keyblade. The second chance is also Keyblade. If you want it, you'd have to beat Thresholder. It's in the dungeon.
Wisdom wisdom level 6. It's not worth.
That especially because Wisdom was the one we were hoping to skip out of the,
Yeah.
the drives he needs.
If you're gonna power level, you'll be fine. You don't need it.
Yeah. Yep. Probably neither of those. Like you could get second chance if you wanted, but oh boy.
Not the friendliest seed, I guess.
No, it's kind of a
I'm
jerk.
glad we're doing this with the full spoiler instead of you going through this scene, because I think this
It's-
might be
Oh, yeah.
a nightmare.
It's still
Oh, yeah,
kind
this
of a
would have been
jerk.
another like 2+ hour seed probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
this
just
is
the
why
way
you
it is.
never let me generate a seed.
Never let you generate it. Yeah.
Should have vetted it or something.
Well, Richard did vet the other one.
I bet it's the first one.
Oh, you did?
We're getting to see the skateboard.
Oh, yeah,
here
you
now.
didn't know
I
about
didn't
that
know about
last
the core.
chest.
I didn't know
Yeah.
about the core thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
This is great. This is great, everybody. I hope you're all enjoying. You've all been having some laughs and stuff tonight too.
Someone was asking where the drives were, so I'm just going to reiterate to everyone where those were.
Yeah, actually, if you post,
Yeah.
posting the things that we talked about in our chat here is actually great, Richard.
Oh yeah.
Wisdom was like deep OC, if I remember correctly. So that was like you want to skip it ideally.
Yeah, but for chat, the forms, we saw Valor form of Beast Castle, Halloween Town has Final Form, Hollow Bastion, Heartless Manufactory has Master Form, Limit Form is on levels 25, and Wisdom Form was in OC, or in Statues.
Okay. If you could toss those in our
Yep.
chat as well, just for
Yeah.
easy reference, and then anything else you can think of that that you want, Sonic? You want, like,
Feather
Feather Charm?
Slash for sure, sorry. Yeah,
Where's
Feather
what?
Charm too.
Okay, yeah, Feather Charm and Berserk.
Slash. Yeah.
You shouldn't need Berserk Charge because you got Promise Charm, right? You're gonna go.
All right, Product Charm, yeah.
Yeah. Which actually means you probably don't need Feather Charm either, but if you want it, it's in the atrium of
Right.
OC, because apparently this is the most stacked OC of all time.
Yeah.
OC, SP2, Space Paranoids 2, and Hollow
All the
Bastion.
favorites.
They're
Yeah,
all
the favorites.
like, super stacked in this one. It's ridiculous. This is absurd. Okay. And then yeah, let's see where final was again. Oh,
Oh yeah. Oh, whoops.
oh yeah, final was Prison Keeper. Let's see where Light and Darkness is. Maybe you can skip it.
Yeah, we're right there.
Light and Darkness. Second. The Keyblade in Agrabah. In Agrabah, so you can get that one real easy. It's
Yeah.
in like the main plaza.
Yep, I'm getting the next fire here real quick.
Yep, and then probably you can get Light and Darkness right away if you want. Then you could force it and level in Twilight 10 if you want.
Yep.
I don't know how you're able to take all this input in and still play the video game. Like this is
I feel like there's like 10 places you want to go all at once.
right. This is another
Yeah.
level of, of skill here.
Actually, key is the coup. There's the cure.
STTs.
Okay, third like fire. There's a report cloud. JP Cloud has one.
Your tracker actually says that you got a torn page in STT for some reason.
Wait. I did. Oh, it's because Red Buddha hasn't really updated that yet. Because
Oh.
you start in STT, technically.
Oh, you do. Okay, gotcha. All right, well, to actually commentate the video game instead of just looking at a form.
Well, I guess I was going to mention that PC version of 2FM unfortunately is not that stable. It
I mean,
definitely
it's more stable now.
well, it's
with
definitely
Rando.
better now, but it was more so a problem of the port itself than
Yeah.
anything Rando introduced. Sonic obviously and Numb have been working hard to fix the Rando related problems with PC. I mean, they did it really fast. It's only been out for like a few weeks, but the PC port itself has some weird issues going on that cause more crashes. Similar to like the PS4 and PS3 versions had weird crashes that didn't exist on PS2. So that
Alright,
also
Earl.
is hurting Rando a little bit.
Alright, Barrel, the sword class. Oops.
Yeah, goofy on Sora attack. Unfortunate. Okay, so it's thing here. Gotta look up more Agrabah stuff. Auto. Well, no, you need limit anyways. Never mind. Ignore me. There's an MP Rage in the Bazaar if you want it. There's an aerial recovery in the Bazaar too, actually.
Yeah, I'll get that. The world map never was is the one.
And we know what if that was a reflect. World there never was one.
Yep.
There's a draw and no treasure room and stuff. You're not. Yeah, just dip into the Bazaar. Go ahead and grab the aerial recovery and the MP Rage, and then get peace out in the save room.
Oh no, that actually had good stats. But we're on boosted, so
Oh yeah. Boosted Keyblades is something we didn't explain. So the way that we're doing this, we're trying to do this really fast, make this the fastest seed possible, is all of the experience curves are boosted up to 5 times their normal rate. That includes each individual drive form's experience leveling and Sora's leveling himself. And then the Keyblades themselves can actually have boosted stats as well. So they're going to be higher than you could actually normally get. Normally, the highest stat you could see on a Keyblade is 7, and now the highest will be 10.
In regards to 30 FPS PC Rando, Sonic is also working pretty hard to make 60 work, and if I recall correctly, you're very close to it working fully, right?
yep.
Yeah, that was very confident. Yeah, easy.
I want to say that not only has Sonic been, doing a great job in these randos, but has spent a ton of time in the past few weeks with the PC version of the rando while staying on top of his game. Like, that is incredible to see.
He's actually been streaming the process of it, of like working on PC Rando, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Like troubleshooting and stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Right.
To explain what's happening now, or what just did happen, the light and darkness, that ability we talked about last seed, it allows you to get final form very quickly, because the only forms you can go into are anti-form and final form, unless you're in a situation in which you couldn't do either, like do anti-form anyways. So what that means is that you, within 5 tries maximum, you'll get final form if you have light and darkness.
Yep.
So we've got 2 of the forms down now. We need to get, let's see, Valor. You got, oh no, sorry, we got 3 of them. You got Valor and Beast,
Got
right?
Valor, so like Valor does autocrat.
Yeah. So we just need the limit on levels, and that's the 4 forms to get us there.
Yep.
Yeah. So TT1, we need to come here for some stuff. Graham Common, I remember, was definitely one of them.
Promise Charm.
Promise Charm, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely put up the reflect the world that never was before I don't finish. That way I have reflect instead of death reflect.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Get the second reflect that. So, as Biz alluded to last time, the level 1 versions of a lot of magics aren't necessarily, that great. Reflect is really nice to have any amount of, but Reflera increases the size of the protective, sphere, as well as the range at which it will damage enemies. And I think it might even increase the damage too. And
Right.
that is really nice, especially against the final boss, Final Xemnas, because he has a lot of moves that you would normally want to reflect that you can't necessarily if it's too far away, or maybe you can't damage him if the reflect is like too small. So here in Twilight Town, got that Promise Charm. And the other great thing about the Promise Charm is once he gets, we just need to get you the proofs, because you can just level in the Promise Charm room. We didn't even need to think about
Yeah.
experience boost.
Yep.
Yeah.
That I totally forgot that's a thing. So we literally just need to level drive forms now.
Yep.
Once you get high enough to get level form limit form itself, which you have boosted experience, so it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, you're only 9 levels away. 6 levels or 8 levels away. I was my brain is so like fuzzled by this.
My brain is too. Yeah,
Right.
it's like such a fragmented spoiler
my
run
God.
right now. It feels like that.
And we're not even playing. Like Sonic's the one I actually try to
Yeah, I don't
take
know how
in.
he's keeping any track of anything.
I
Yeah.
have to listen to 3 voices and try to make do with it.
Where's the second?
Hey, yeah, Chicken Little.
All right. So core fight, no problem.
Wait, let's find you a drive recovery real quick, even though you're gonna get your drive back at the top of this.
Yeah.
Oh, you do have one. What about magic boost, power boost? How like let's just open shop. What do you want?
There's a fire sale here. Any pickup you want.
Exactly. Port Royal Town has a magic boost. I remember there was something else in the Rampart, right? I don't know if you went and grabbed it.
Where? Do I have all the ways already?
I don't
No.
know. Let's check.
That's an STT, so I don't think you have auto wisdom.
Nope.
Uh,
So no wisdom for you. You're getting things to level 6, and that's
I
it.
mean, I
Wait,
have
where-
the other
where
one.
in STT though?
Where was
Wisdom form
Wisdom
is
form
an
was
OC.
Orin statue in Olympus Coliseum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
An orange statue is like, but that's OC2, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so you're not doing that.
But
So
you need one
auto-
of those because the proof is on Wisdom 5.
Wisdom 5.
Oh,
yeah.
it was Wisdom 5. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
So FYI, Sonic changed it on PC, unless this is a different version, where you can actually leave STT at any save point, and Auto Wisdom's on guard,
Oh.
which is Twilight Thorn.
Okay. All right.
That sounds faster than OC
That's
Orin
probably-
statue.
I think
Sonic?
that's
All right.
best.
Yeah, that's faster than
Okay, then yeah,
OC2.
you need to go into STT for auto wisdom then.
Yeah.
I would save just in case, because that sounds I'm sure you've tested extensively leaving STT, but that's a PC only fix right now, or change
Yeah.
I should say.
I think it's fair for us to be clear about this. If we're ever worried about the stability of this like PC run, we're more worried about Square's code than Sonic's.
That's
Yeah.
true, yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, there's just even in just casual play, there's been a lot of crashing with the PC
Yeah.
version so far.
Hey Square,
and
are you listening?
I do want to realize
hope
this
they
is a
fix it.
very new game, very
Yeah.
new release of this game. So
I really hope they patch and
Yeah.
fix the problems, because it would not only be good, obviously, for Rando, but it'd be great for just the people who want to play the game on PC.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, STT. I forgot that like on PC you made like it was made so you might be able to leave. So that comes good. What were the other STT ones? Were probably deep, right? The interesting ones. And just to reiterate, because not everybody's always watching for the whole time. STT, when we say that, that's Simulated Twilight Town. That is Roxas World that you normally start at the very beginning of the game, and we generally like to avoid it because it's pretty slow. But if you can leave, then you can get some good stuff.
Questions. Like maybe that sort had an HP upgrade, or does Red Clover have one?
An HP upgrade?
Yep. I would like to have one for VIP boost share for Berserkers.
Oh, okay. HP. Wow. 3 on Epson Silhouettes. The Beast does, but you have to do Thresholder.
Alright.
Oogie does. If
Ugh.
you wanted to do Prison Keeper for, but that was like
Yeah.
Prison Keeper was final, right? I think, and you forced it. So
Yeah, I'll just go fight Red Clover real quick.
okay, you get something in the dungeon. I don't remember anymore what it was, but
That sounds, I believe.
Yeah, all the HP ups look pretty
rough.
bad.
If you want to do
Roxas?
OC and
Is it?
do
That's
Roxas, I guess.
Yeah.
You could do Roxas.
If you want to do OC instead of STT, you get one from Hydra, but
Yeah.
the screens fight in Space Paranoids, if you just rush it or if you use it to get to level 25, that one that's an HP up also.
Yeah, and then EXP boost at the PC3, isn't it, right?
The XP boost, where the other one was?
Yeah, where the other
Yeah,
one
I think
was.
it was TT. It was the Keyblade that you get from the laser, I believe. Winter's Proof.
Right.
Well, no, it's when you get Cypher's Trophy.
Yeah,
So-
the PC2, man.
TT2, yeah. Yeah, there was something from that laser though. I remember that was something you got to do.
FYI, PC Rando is not public yet, in case anyone's wondering. It's still obviously new and being worked on to be as stable as possible.
Yeah, and Sonic actively works on it again on his own stream. So if you're interested in like the process of what's going into it, you can go check out Sonic's channel as as it gets worked on.
Man, I would have just the tools that just to have the forethought here to immediately after taking one hit go into Comet. I would have absolutely just died probably. I wouldn't have thought about that quickly enough. That's
Well,
really
there's
smart.
people who push off Thresholder until not really early, just because it is a deceivingly difficult
Yeah.
fight when you have no HP.
Yeah, I actually in the co-op, the co-ops I've been doing, are push Beast Castle person early, and even I have to have something before I'll usually go there because it can get rough.
Yeah, and then now
Yeah.
the EXP boost check fun.
Okay.
Ooh, this
Good,
looks
good.
really good.
Oh wow, 7-9 drive boost. Yeah, that's great. Drive boost
Yep.
is whatever, but 7-9.
Yeah.
Drive boost is an ability that increases the rate at which you accumulate drive gauge, but in order for that to happen, you have to have lost your drive, you have to have run out. And the way we tend to do things with rando and speedrunning is to try to avoid losing your drive if you can help it, and go for places that give you automatic refills instead of trying to build it back up yourself. It's something that you do need to do every now and then. So it can still be nice, but it's not a desired ability necessarily.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, he did not get hit by that reflect. That's a bummer.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know why that happens sometimes. That
A dangerous
reflect doesn't
fight, yeah.
trigger. Yeah.
Yeah, now we're getting to see Sonic in blitz mode, whereas before
Yeah, this is a go mode seed, just with a little extra
Yeah.
side stuff, really. But
even
it's
with
not easy.
even with Sonic being on 5 times experience, it's still this is a level at which you might have to do this fight in a regular seed, or even lower potentially if you get the right tools. Wow, that reflect just doesn't want to happen, huh?
I think it was just base reflect. It basically missed it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm telling you
There
guys,
go.
base reflect is not broken.
All right, winner's proof. That's the experience boost. Keyblade.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll EXP boost here then. Instead of
6-2.
straight for Mori. So. Yeah, that's like -7 magic.
Yeah.
But I'll handle it, that's fine.
Yeah, you've still got 31 magic already in final, so that should be plenty.
Yep.
Do experience boosting. This is so weird that it all ended up being triforms and like levels. That
Yeah.
Drive forms for me is like generally one of the worst spots a proof could be, especially later on in drive levels.
See, I love
or
them.
later on, and you like never find a thrive form for a while.
Yeah, it sucks if you don't find drive forms for sure. But like, I like them just because I think like you do, Sonic. I love the creativity of like finding new places to level drive forms while doing other stuff. That's
Yep.
just really fun to me. But it's definitely rough if you get one on like level 7 or whatever.
Which happens a lot. It's like you would think, oh, well, whatever, level 7, that's not going to be very common.
There's
And then
that
it
limit
turns
form.
out-
Bringing down
yeah,
a lot
there's
of
limit form.
EXP.
Wow, so many levels.
Man, yeah.
And with limit form, I want to remind everyone that proof of connection on limit level 2 non-existent on limit level 6.
Yep, and then we'll have to get auto wisdom, I guess. Where was second chance again? Did you like start with that keyblade?
That was on Oblivion. That was after Quest Holder for second set.
Right. That was why you went there. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was the once more one that wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So second chance, I don't even think we mentioned what second chance is. It basically it will prevent you from dying from a single blow if you are above 1 health. And so what that means is you can't get one shot, basically. The reason I was kind of so particular about describing that is because if an enemy is hitting you with a combo of attacks, it can still kill you. Because the first hit will get you down to 1 health, and then the next one will kill you. Once
Yep.
more is a very useful ability that will protect you from those types of combo attacks, but it won't protect you from getting one shot from 100 to 0. So
Yep.
ideally, you would love to have both since it keeps you really safe, but in a realistic scenario, you'll take whichever you can get. And second chance in particular is incredibly useful for leveling leveling drive forms via use of the auto abilities.
Speaking of which, second is actually gonna help you out here too.
Yes, yeah, it
Yeah.
means you can level this here instead of having to level it somewhere else, or rather get the like EXP boost at the same time,
Yep.
and be able to tank the MP. Actually, I guess you won't EXP boost because the limits heal you, but get the MP Rage for Sonic Rave.
Yeah.
You do have a money pouch though, so you could probably spam
Yeah.
ethers and be fine.
The concept of tanking hits in limit form to spam limits is actually kind of broken when
It's so
you
nice.
utilize it correctly in like super boss fights.
Yeah.
It can get you out of a lot of like problems that you might casually have with the super bosses.
Yeah, because every hit with the Keyblade while using a limit in limit form, so like every dash with Sonic Rave, every time you're hitting him at the beginning of Ragnarok, each of those heals Sora for a chunk. So you can get hit as long as you have protective abilities to make sure you won't die, get all your MP back, use your MP to get all your health back, get hit to get all your MP back, and it's a positive feedback loop. It feeds into itself.
Yep. Or just explosion out of curiosity.
Where was what? Sorry.
Explosion.
Oh, explosion.
Agrabah Valley of Stone.
That is
Oh, I
right
think that
outside of
was what-
Treasure Room, right?
Ugh. It
Yeah,
is.
right
I don't
outside-
think. Yeah, that might not be worth
That's
it.
not
no,
where-
that's right for Abu Escort.
Yeah.
It's right before Abu
Wait,
Escort?
before?
Yeah, Valley Stone is before Abu Escort.
Oh, so Cave of Wonders is like called Valley of Stone instead.
Yeah,
Basically.
first through Valley Stone, and then Stone Darby and just be next room after that. And then the Chasm Challenges, then Treasure Room, and then that's all for Kind of Wonders.
Oh, okay. So I guess you could get Explosion if you want. It wouldn't be bad. Explosion
Yeah, so that way,
for chat as we get the second proof there. And I assume you're going to go either do that or STT next.
yeah,
At
I'm
this
gonna
point.
Explosion real quick.
Okay. So Explosion is one of, if not the most powerful, like ground finisher in the game, or just finisher in the game. Honestly, it is this massive AOE attack that actually will hit like many enemies and stuff at multiple times, and the damage from it is scaled off of your magic stat instead of off of your strength stat.
First.
So that's really nice, because a lot of times in these rando seeds, we want to prioritize our magic since it's really good for mob fights and mob control and stuff like that. So having Explosion does a bunch of damage, and on top of that, you get a lot of invulnerability frames while using Explosion. It's not perfect; it doesn't like always protect you from death, but it can protect you from getting hit a lot of the time. So it's great.
It's definitely a top tier type of finisher that I wish they kind of had elsewhere in the series, at least something similar.
It's really fun to use too.
It is fun, yeah. Guard Break's pretty fun too. It's just not as good as Explosion, but it's still good, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
I'm curious where Finishing Leap is, actually.
Where Finishing Leap is? Okay, one sec. Finishing Leap is, that was the one that was in the Port Royal town. Or actually, there was other stuff in the town, right?
All right,
So-
Nightmare 2. Yeah. Port
So-
Royal Rampart is the Nightmare, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so you could get Rampart and Town checks if you want.
So,
Right.
so this visit is not considered jail anymore on PC because Sonic coded in the ability to
Not-
leave from a save point on
Loved it,
PC.
actually.
Sorry, who did? Oh, sorry, who did?
Loved it.
No, I'm sorry, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
One of the other people have been working on PC version.
Yeah, obviously it's been like a joint effort between Sonic and
What
to
the-
make this work as fast as they did. Like I
I'm
thought it would be like
surprised-
months or something, like a couple months or
Yeah.
something, you know, like before we had to work in random.
Yeah.
I
Which
totally
I'm
agree.
surprised that fight didn't end as soon as it did with that
Yeah.
Infinity.
That was really weird. The fight just decided to carry on.
Yep.
What else is in Port Royal if you're thinking about going there anyways? Like just within the town and Rampart. Oh, the Rampart had a
Yeah.
magnet. That was the other reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you said that. Right. Town. There's a magic boost, finishing leap, and an AP boost. So get a magic
Right.
boost and finishing leap.
Right, which is not needed right now, actually. Oh. Oops. I'm gonna go back into the world that I realize here shortly, probably. Although, yeah, my manager helped with Wisdom Form, actually, in the world that never was. So, yeah, that's how I'll level up Wisdom Form then.
Okay. Yeah, the world that never was is a pretty good spot to level up wisdom form just because of how many of those shadows spawn and the fact that shadows are the most basic heartless, and wisdom form levels up 1 experience every time you kill a heartless while in the form. So it is
Since I'll be getting all the Wisdom, I'll have to take a hit and then Wisdom Form.
Yeah.
Enter.
yeah, take it wisdom form, then start killing them, and then repeat basically if you start to run out.
Yep.
Sonic, when are you gonna make Present do something so I could be actually excited when it shows up?
Or decoy presence.
Make it have like a
I-
negative effect.
That better effect is you have to get decoy presence to fight Experiment.
Oh God, no.
I still think there should be a version of the rando that is all like, logic based around story items.
Important check, yeah, or the key item rather.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, key item rando effectively is one way of describing it.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't want to do that frequently, but for funsies, yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, I definitely think that a version of that would be, because that's kind of what people are often more familiar with randomizers. That's a little more of like a traditional method of doing it, I guess.
Yeah.
Where you have to figure out how to like continue to make progress in the seed while not knowing like where the things are that let you continue to make progress. I think that's pretty cool.
It would definitely be a neat alternative type of thing.
Yeah.
There it is. All right.
Okay, so now we can leave. Probably Port Royal first to get. Might as well make it Magnera before you start grinding the wisdom.
Somebody paid our bail.
Get out of STT jail. That's amazing. I'm just astounded to watch us leave this place.
Yeah, I know, isn't it? I really wonder how that's going to change the meta
The
because
future's
like,
here.
Yeah.
that's a big difference.
And obviously, it goes without saying we didn't really bring it up, but all of the loads are way faster. Menus are crisper. Lots of really nice things for being on the PC version. I think it's why so many people are really excited for a PC version.
But I need to get rid of my F5 points real quick. So,
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were going to go to Port Royal first to get Magnera,
all right.
because it might one-shot them with how high your magic is. Maybe not one-shot, but this does just as well on
Yeah.
×5.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a better voice. Let me find reflect here first. First. And I'm faithful to my fair coup because my prime is about to run out.
Yeah,
Hurry, go fast.
you got a recovery. Worst case, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of the better place there. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, so Disney Castle is a great place for leveling Wisdom form and Valor form, and I mean honestly, like a bunch of them, because also a bunch of Heartless spawn here,
All right.
but they are weaker.
Yeah.
Oh, nice limit form. That is that's unfortunate.
All right. Prime recovery.
Yeah.
Are you making still do decent damage?
I'm surprised they still do that much
Yeah.
damage. Jeez.
The jumping attack in particular is the most powerful one, right? So nice that you got 2 jumping attacks really quickly. All right, we're what level from the? Yeah, there it is. Proof of peace. So
All right,
now
we're
Sonic could just
complete.
get as many levels as he wants in the Promise Charm room.
Yeah. And he has enough utility where he doesn't have to go crazy either, but doesn't
Yeah, I
really.
mean, might be
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah, might as well get Magnera for core.
Yeah, might
Yeah,
be
it'll help a little bit. Yeah.
Not pretty of it, but finish the leap.
Do you need finishing leap? I mean, it's a magic seed, anyways. You'd have to go through, 3 fights for it.
I'll read it.
You could just go, level up more in Promise Charm Room just to show people, anyways. What? Kyrie's there now? I didn't see that.
I was like, what? Why is she there?
That's amazing. So yeah, the Promise Charm, like Biz said earlier, it's the fact that it does anything was added by Sonic as a way to make it so you can skip the world that never was up until the final boss door. And the other addition to it is that Sonic put in all of these bulky vendors, which give you a lot of experience. Like even in the base game, bulky vendors give you a lot of experience. And you can leave and redo this room as many times as you want, and you can level up a lot. Like Biz said, a lot of people don't play with Promise Charm on once they've kind of done a bunch of seeds, and unless they're trying to do something super fast. But it is really nice every now and then to throw one of these in.
It's
Now,
nice when you're
great.
just starting because Zigbar's very difficult to
big
get
wall.
down when you're starting.
Even on beginner, he is incredibly difficult.
Yeah, but you might not find the Promise Charm either, so there's that,
Yeah.
you know? So most people just don't bother with it anymore.
I'm just gonna play the shape because my strafe is so pretty low.
Yeah. We should have looked up Full Bloom Plus. Although I guess you got Cosm cards, right?
Now I've got the art now, and it's got an Archive Plus.
Oh, did you have 2 accessory slots? I didn't even. Full Bloom Plus is on Hollow Bastion's Cure, which. Here's Hollow Bastion's Cure.
Actually,
Oh,
while,
back to Curious right before Bowser Heartless.
while you go through this room, you know, the rest of the run will be pretty jam packed. So, does anyone have any shout outs that you'd like to make as we close out and get to the end of the game?
Shout outs to Sonic for being like a pillar of
I was
of the
gonna say,
KH community for
He's
years.
the number one person to shout out right now for everything he's done for Rando. Without him, we wouldn't have this.
Like Numb is the one who's been helping you a lot with PC, right, Sonic?
Yeah, with this Toby's clean up right here, so. Sure, constant art because my match is really good anyways. For a read off. That's the case, I guess. We have dodge roll match.
Even in this seed that has just been blitzed.
we weren't trying to give him any dodge rolls actually, and he has
funny.
max dodge roll.
Yep.
But all the glides, terrible. They
Yeah.
were all in terrible spots. All right, so since you all can't see the stats, I don't think. Sonic is level 49 at the moment, which would be pretty high for a normal seed, but any seed with Promise Charm on, hey, might as well level up higher if you want. He's got a lot of magic, 53 magic, but his strength stat is actually the same as if he had level 1 stats against the bosses here. It'll be way better that he doesn't have level 1 stats against the regular Heartless and Nobodies, but the bosses themselves would be scaled to basically this damage for his strength anyways. So most of his damage is going to actually be from Reflect in pretty much every boss.
And it's going to be a lot of damage.
It's going to
but
be a lot, yeah.
It's something to start picking up on when you're running Rando and you can see the stats in the tracker. You got to think like, okay, is this like a more strength-based seed or magic
Yeah.
or balance? Balance I actually don't like a lot, but either
Yeah.
way, it's like you have to change your strats based on whatever your stats are too, not just the utility.
And that's something I always used to like just have to play by feel for the longest time because I never just looked at stats enough to get a good idea of what numbers were good in my head until we got an auto tracker. And now it's like, oh, I'm looking at them all the time.
Oh no, auto tracker was such a game changer. It's the fact that it already basically functions fine on PC is already great.
Yeah, that's really weird and awesome. I say
Once it's
weird in
fully
that,
released-
like, I can't believe that all
Yeah.
this stuff has happened this fast.
No, it's gonna be great once it's released. Everyone's gonna really
Yeah.
enjoy it, and like the speeds of the loads are of course great. You know, I think it's only incredibly slightly slower than a PS4 Pro or a PS5. I heard for 2FM, but it's close enough where the game basically just doesn't really load. So it's just so much faster than emulator.
Yeah, and just not having the natural input delay of an emulator.
Yeah, that's
has been
for
the
me
most
that's the big
frustrating.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
Input delay just hurts competitive play in this. So
And all the
Not
text
having
just
that is
looks
great.
nice and stuff. It all looks right.
yeah, it's
So
pretty,
there's a lot
and
of
we
reasons
might
we're
be able
excited.
to set it to 60 FPS once
That would
that's
be
all
huge.
fixed. Yeah,
That would
although that brings in the weird physics problems on a
Yeah.
couple fights, but that might be fixable through
Well,
Rando. I don't know.
also if you just change FPS right before those fights, like
You could, yeah.
yeah. There's some weird stuff with this game when you start to get really deep in the weeds
Oh.
about like
Oh,
oh
Wait a minute.
no.
Oh, was it? It was a Keyblade that had second chance.
It was.
Yeah, Oblivion has it.
We should have gotten you, Peter Pan. We should have done it. Could have just had him on for safety.
Yep.
Nah, isn't it? I don't. The
That's
atrium, is that like the foggy room in OC?
Atrium is where you fought Dennis.
Ooh.
So how you hated
Yeah.
the same Cerberus arms.
Yeah, that's too far. Yeah, we couldn't have gotten you, Peter Pan. This death was way worth not having Peter Pan. I cannot believe how stacked this OC was.
This is
I'm
quite
glad
the
we
scene.
didn't have to go there. OC is not really fast.
Yeah.
If this scene
so
was like
explosion.
not spoiled, how long do you think it would take?
Oh
Probably
god.
easier
This would be a
while,
long-
but I wouldn't rush levels for sure. Not levels, but right forms.
Yeah, I think it would have been very
Yeah.
just report based because
Yeah.
Wisdom being in second visit OC is pretty rough. Fine, well,
Yeah.
Limit we would have gotten. Master.
Master we would've
eventually
gotten.
Yeah, Valor we would have eventually.
Because the membership card
gotten.
was on the way to Master anyways, so like you would have gotten it.
Yeah, I don't think it would have actually been that bad of a seed for someone like Sonic who naturally levels drives anyway.
I think the
Yeah.
biggest thing would have been the Wisdom form being an OC and the Auto Wisdom being an STT.
Yeah.
Where was the report for drive forms at? Because that would have been also a big deal.
Right
That-
labs.
what was
Is
that?
Right labs.
Ride
Oh,
Lance.
so
that would have been huge.
that would have
Oh, yeah,
that would
okay,
this would have been
yeah.
an easy seed actually then. Well, not easy, but
I
it,
still
it
think
wouldn't have been that bad. Yeah.
Wisdom would have been the big. That would have been the last proof you get by a mile. Whoa. I haven't seen that be super glitchy.
Yep, that was your first person view.
Yeah.
I like doing that.
Oh, it's first person. Okay. Oh, we should have gotten you Magic Lock on in Trinity just for the heck of it, just to show
Yeah.
people. Just the fun strat at the end here.
Oh, you know, Sephiroth has Trinity, no big deal.
Did
It's
he
work.
really?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh no, he has it. It was in Pride Lands, Wastelands.
Ah, cool.
There was Magic Lock on. You got to be kidding me.
It's not Sephiroth, is it?
Sure. Wait, no. No.
really?
No. It was on Fenrir, so I thought for a second that meant. So, no.
Oh,
it
you mean the
was-
Fenrir pop-up, but it's on the Keyblade that's...
It's- No, it's on the Fenrir Keyblade, but it's on Waterway.
Okay.
Waterway and
Wow.
Timeless
Okay,
River.
okay.
That's just, it was just really funny.
That was
you-
really close, yeah.
Yeah, you talked about Sephiroth. I thought it was talking about the Fenrir pop-up for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh.
no way.
We're glazing
Right,
over
that's
all of
how-
this, like, fantastic gameplay Sonic's doing because
I know.
we just know that he's so strong he's going to destroy it now.
Yeah, it's just like... Yeah,
But-
you're way overstated for this for Magic.
Yeah, but this is still something where he would probably be getting like 1 to 2 shot by like every
Yeah,
move.
if he gets hit, yeah.
Yeah, which that was incredible, by
This
the
is
way.
a one-shot, yeah, that's a one-shot, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything Zep Final Zenith does is gonna one-shot you.
That was to refill my MP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
intentional
Which is
deaths
always smart.
to refill MP on this fight. I honestly, because I never customize an ether, so I have a hard time like throwing one at the end of Armored Xemnas 2. I pretty much always take 1 intentional death here, unless I have like a baby reflect, and then I just forego.
It's fast enough where it's fine.
Yeah.
Gotta be more focused on dome skip, which I assume Sonic's gonna attempt to
Right.
do.
So
He should get it, yeah.
this is probably gonna.
This is free.
yeah, oh, yeah, he's gonna get it.
So Rando, if you don't know,
Right on time,
time, yeah.
yeah. GG.
So Rando lets you skip the laser dome, which is not normally part of the game. Normally you're forced to sit through it, but Sonic coded in Rando to be able to skip it.
And those cutscenes, too.
And the cutscenes, because Square for
that's
some
great.
reason
Yeah.
can't do such a simple thing, but Sonic was able to.
Yeah, I think like it makes your ending cutscenes like I can understand them not wanting to make them skippable
Yeah.
at first or something.
It's like I
but
think it's the only Kingdom Hearts game though that you
Free from distance
KH1.
because unskippable as
Dream
well.
Dreamed out. Yeah, okay.
KH1 you can't skip them either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
GG again.
Well,
Sonic.
there's
Yeah.
is there a post game save in that? I don't know.
No,
No, yeah, I
But
can't
phase
remember.
one,
there's not.
so-
So that one you didn't need to.
Yeah, GG Sonic, sub 1 hour. That's how you make it happen. You just give them a kind of not amazing seed, like a really not good seed, but with a lot of leveling and a spoiler log.
Yeah.
He gave us
Yeah.
a lot to talk about too. So
Yep.
Yeah, and that concludes Game Masters for tonight. Again, I want to thank Sonic Shadow Silver 2 for doing the runs and making the randomizer. Like, thank you very much, Sonic. Again,
No problem.
the randomizer Discord has like 2,000 people in it. So if anyone's interested in KH2 Rando, go check out the website, go check out the Discord, follow Sonic, and you can find out a lot and learn a lot about KH2. So with that, you know, we're running a little over time here, so we're going to get to 8F's show, Challenger Approaching, coming up next, which is going to be Ocarina of Time 3D. So be sure to check that out and stay tuned. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good night.